All right, we should be up and running. Let me just make sure the stream kicks in. Should have the mic working. Hope everybody's having a great start to the day. MicroStrategy appears to have bought a bunch of Bitcoin. They've acquired 55,500 more BTC for $5.4 billion, which is awesome. It says it's achieved a Bitcoin yield of 35.2% quarter to date and 59.3% year to date. That's insane. As of 11/24/2024, we hodled 386,700 BTC acquired for $21.9 billion at 56,761 per coin. So again, averaging, basically doing DCA. Their average cost is going up, but they're front loading this, guys. They're buying as much Bitcoin as they can right now because they realize that the government is going to be doing a strategic reserve. They realize that other nation states are going to be doing strategic reserves. They realize that corporations are doing this en masse. They realize that, again, states, cities, everybody's doing this. Everybody's getting on the Bitcoin train. We've got a bunch of stuff to listen to. There's this age of abundance thing I keep talking about. We're going to be listening to Blockworks Macro for a minute to hear a little bit about that. But before we get started down that path, I actually want to hop over here because we got my man, Anthony Pompliano. If you guys don't know who he is a stud. He's a hard-working man in crypto. He's made a few mistakes. We all have. But he's a great guy to listen to. So we're going to back up the truck a little bit here, and we're going to listen to him. Sorry, I've updated my Mac. I think I said this before over the weekend, but I updated my Mac to get it to where I could get my other monitors to run it off of it. I also bought two 32 inches that I'm going to switch to portrait. But in the process of doing that, I've had to resize and fix a few things. So I do apologize, but we're making things better, and sometimes we got to take a step back to make that happen. I also have portfolio updates. We'll check those out in a second. And again, just a lot going on today, guys. Today is chocked full of stuff. We've got a new appointee for the Treasury Secretary that we need to talk about. I think that's going to be a big deal. My buddy Tom Lee was talking about it recently, and we're going to be covering it as well. Let me just hop over here. Let's get this going with Pomp here. Let me see if I can expedite this a a little bit.
The 100,000.
There we go. That's better. All right, let me make sure I don't hear any audio out of it.
Now to talk about what's next. Next for Bitcoin, other crypto. Anthony Pompliano, founder and CEO of Professional Capital Management. You're a viewer. You saw both Michael Saylor and the other individual. I have to look up his name to find it again. But I thought it was really interesting that the usage case for Bitcoin in a portfolio, it can augment certain conservative strategies. And I'm wondering, are we going to see more of that?
So excited about today.
For fiduciaries and for pension managers and people that, he was talking about narrowing the liability gap for state and municipal employees in their pension plans using Bitcoin to augment the return. Is that prudent in your view?
Yes.
Well, I think there's a couple things going on. First of all, when you talk about corporations, historically they've had two levers to pull in terms of improving their business. They can drive more revenue or they can cut expenses. What Michael Saylor really introduced is this idea of taking your balance sheet and creating a third lever that you can pull. It's not really that new. Real estate has been doing this for a long time where they use that to secure loans and do other things. It's just that we haven't thought of software companies or others being able to do the same thing. And so now you have an asset that obviously is growing very quickly. There's only 21 million of them, and it seems to be working out. Now, what I do think is interesting is because there's only 21 million of these, anyone who buys it, if there's increased demand, the price goes up. And so, we had a fund that was anchored by two public pension funds that we raised in 2018. We bought Bitcoin around $5,500 for those public pension funds. They're up really big on it. And so I do think that anytime you buy an asset, whether it's Bitcoin stocks, commodities, real estate, et cetera, and it goes up a lot, it will help close those funding gaps. Now, what I do think is really important, though, is Bitcoin in particular was a bottoms-up adoption story. So historically, technologies are top-down. Governments and militaries adopt it first, then corporations, and eventually individuals. Here, you actually had individuals first. The reason why that's important is Bitcoin is the only asset that I know of in financial markets. As the price goes up, it becomes less risky. And so now you have the biggest pools of capital showing up and saying it now is only big enough where I can start to buy it. And so you have central banks, you have public pension funds, et cetera, that are saying, okay, now we're getting close to $2 trillion. I can start allocating to this thing. And so individuals front ran it, but the largest pools of capital still are heavily under allocated to this asset. I think it's going to be very good for price.
So to augment a fixed income investment for an insurance company or pension, there's some underlying Bitcoin that has to rise. I think he said over a 4-year period, it has to rise 6% per year. Do you remember that? That's what he said. And you'd break even on that. Anything above that, you're augmenting the return because rates have been obviously so low for a lot of these fiduciaries that are trying to guarantee, retirees or whatever, a certain income. So you would take that bet. You don't think it's going to be 50,000 in 4 years.
Well, what I think is really important is if you go and you look at the data of putting just a little bit of Bitcoin, you don't have to put a lot of Bitcoin. We can put 1% of Bitcoin into a portfolio. It not only has the price appreciation, but it also drastically improves Sharpe ratios and many other aspects that these fiduciaries look at. Now, I do think that the underfunding or that funding gap for public pension funds and many other these large pools of capital is drastically under-discussed. What are they going to do, right? They don't have many options. And so it doesn't mean that you should go and throw a Hail Mary and put 50% of your fund into some risky asset. But it does mean that if you can take a risk-reward asset, which according to Fidelity has been the best risk-reward asset over the last 10 years, and you can put that in your portfolio. We're talking about right now you have it at zero. Just get off zero and put some.
The interesting thing about the gentleman who presented this to us on the real estate asset side of it is he shares in the upside potentially, doesn't take any of the downside risk.
Correct.
The downside risk is entirely taken on by the individual taking out the mortgage or the loan on some of these things.
Yeah, which is great. And they do that because the bond market wants access to Bitcoin. And there's people argue 150 to 170 trillion or something in monies sitting in the bond market. This is the best performing bond market or bond out there. And these guys can get access to it in the cleanest, most signal way by going through MicroStrategy. So it's like a no-brainer. It's a no-brainer.
That come through, and that's a pretty good deal. I would like to take something where I get to share on the upside and have none of the downside risk too.
It's fucking brilliant. It's brilliant, yeah.
I think there's two main stories going forward that we're going to see. The first is Bitcoin is just now entering into the financial world in terms of traditional finance. There is nothing better that Wall Street likes to do than create financial instruments. And if they can now introduce Bitcoin into those financial instruments, they're going to find creative ways to do that. The second thing is that MicroStrategy has now pioneered this idea of using a balance sheet. And so I think that there's going to be many companies that are going to do this using other assets as well. In Canada, there's companies like Soul Strategies, Hut 8, DeFi Technologies, et cetera, that are all putting these assets on their balance sheet, and they're saying, I'm going to control revenue, I'm going to control expenses, but now I'm also going to go on offense using that balance sheet. And I think that that is something that is going to permeate not just in public markets, but we're also seeing small businesses start to do this. I have multiple people who have reached out to me describing this, and I think it's going to become a big, big story in 2025.
And Gensler, we know the date.
Bye, Gensler.
And I think that's part of the move.
Welcome, Ross.
Anthony, thank you.
Bye, Gens.
Thank you so much.
Okay, I like that tie. I liked it last time, the time before that, and the
Anthony Pompliano's a stud. We're going to stop here, though. There's so much to talk about today, guys. So Tesla up 2.5%. Last I checked on Hood was up 6%. We could have a little bit of a drop in that. We'll talk about why that is as well. But there's a lot going on. So let's see where Hood's sitting right now. Hood is still up. Nope, 6.3%. Not a drop at all. So Hood is looking sick. They got an upgrade to overweight, doubling of their price target in the 50s now. Since these guys are currently at $38.95, that's a cool place to be sitting for their price target. They're also adding additional altcoins today that are getting thrown into the market, which we love. Before, I've got tons of stuff to talk about, but let's jump over to the economic indicators and look at what we're going to be seeing today, guys. So we already got some data out of Canada for manufacturing sales month over month. It was a 1.3% increase, which they were expecting negative numbers. That looks good. U.S. Chicago National Fed activity came out at 7:30 a.m. Shows negative 0.4%. Expected negative 0.15. Previous negative 0.27. I don't know if this is very telling right now with these economic indicators. A lot of them are almost boring right now because with this new administration, so many things are going to change. Some things will get front loaded, some things will lag. But what I wanted to show you is today, light calendar at 9:30, we have the Dallas Fed Manufacturing Index, probably the biggest mover that we're going to see. If we scan at this real quick here, again, it's going to be a pretty light week, guys. You could see that the trend on this was up. up and away, right? Looking good under the Dallas Fed Manufacturing Index. I believe manufacturing, we know the employment portion of that is looking really positive. So I could see that these things continuing to go higher. That's really it for today. Tomorrow, we got Redbook, SPC, like Schiller home price stuff. There's not going to be a lot in that. Consumer confidence, I think, will go up. New home sales, again, we're not really expecting anything out of this. The Richmond Fed data and the Dallas Fed services will probably be the interesting stuff tomorrow. That's probably it. We got retail sales for Argentina tomorrow. FOMC minutes will be talked about, I'm sure, at 1 p.m. That's about it. So it's going to be a really light week, guys. You got to remember, it's holiday week. We got Turkey Day coming up. If you guys didn't see it, there's Black Friday sales everywhere. I posted the 70% off TradingView discount. This is the time to lock in a year in TradingView. If you want to use it, 70% is about as good as it gets. That's where I renew every year, right on Black Friday. And then I believe Tom Lee's Fund Strat was discount of 32% for a year for like the macro insights. I like the crypto part too, but the macro is probably all most people need. So that's a good discount to pick up while you're out there too. And I get very little in regard to referrals for either one of these, but they're great products that I love. And so I want to promote them. But again, so Wednesday, and I'll look at BGZ. Thank you for the $20. What's your MicroStrategy target? Yes, we'll talk about that. That'll be right at the top of the list since everybody's talking MicroStrategy right now. Luckily, we got in at better prices than most people, right? But MBA mortgage applications on Wednesday, core PCE, GDP growth rate. This is going to be the big data that we're going to get. And then we're going quiet. Thursday, Friday, dead. Talk of MicroStrategy getting added to the S&P on Friday. What? Could that be true? So many interesting things to talk about. We'll check back on the economic side of things at 9:30. There is more to talk about, though. The dollar getting absolutely crushed today. We're loving that, right? We want to see the dollar. It got up near 108, a little over 108. Now it's down to 106.60. We love that. We want to see weakness in the dollar. If we just jump over real quick, interesting stuff happening. We still see dollar strength. That breakout that I was looking for has started to happen against the ruble. Not that currency matters much, but this just puts more and more pressure on Russia, which will push them more and more to want to end that war. And then let's just look at the Japanese yen carry trade today. Oh, I better switch this around. If I don't do this, it'll be weird for all the charts I pull up. So you can see that the dollar is losing strength against the yen. We like that. It just removes the worries about the Japanese yen carry trade. And we don't want to worry about stuff we don't have to worry about, right? Let me just jiggle this a little bit so I can save this chart and make sure that this continues on the others. The Chinese yuan, real quickly here. You can see some weakening of the dollar against the yuan, but it's not nearly as much as the yen. That will continue to be a trend. I've said this for a while, but I think we're definitely in a deep recession with China right now. It doesn't show up in all the economic data because most of it's bullshit, but it's going to get really bad soon. And this is the segue that I wanted to go into with my boys at Blockworks. One specific one, I don't even know his name. This guy on the right. If anybody knows his name, please let me know. I don't know it off the top of my head. Let me see here. He's got to be on here somewhere. Is it Felix? I don't know. I'll try and find out what his name is. He's brilliant. I love all these guys. He is brilliant on the right-hand side. He has a vision of the future that I could really, really relate to. But I want you to hear what he has to say about what could be coming for the macro setup. It's exactly what I've been talking about. I think it's nuanced even better in his discussion. And we definitely, BGC, thank you for the 20. We will talk about MicroStrategy. That is right at the top of the list, okay? But let's listen here to what he thinks is going to happen with the macroeconomics of the world. China, Southeast Asia, Europe, and how the United States is the beneficiary of all of that, like I've been saying for a very, very long time. Here we go.
And I was like, I didn't even put the trade on, so like, dummy me. But,
here we go.
That's been
here's the gold, guys. There's some more coming later too.
I would say similarly to your point. So this was a headline: Swiss National Bank chairman. Nobody loves negative interest rates, including the SNB, but we're ready to implement them again if needed. And then ECB Governing Council Mario Centeno said larger reductions in interest rates can be debated if some of the dangers to the region's economy come to pass. So you have the euro just like rolling out of bed. And this is, I didn't think this was going to happen, but we might be seeing sort of like a 1998 Asian financial
Listen to this so closely, guys. This is exactly what I've been talking about, and I think it's happening right now, and I'm so excited about it.
crisis in Europe where money left Asia and their currencies got annihilated, and that money came here and it created a boom
This is exactly what's happening right now
for the US. And similarly, if Europe is uninvestable and they need negative interest rates,
Europe and China. And yes, negative interest rates in Europe, which means that we're going to be giving people more yield. They're all going to invest here.
to get their economies stewing again, I think that's why you're seeing US growth surprise to the upside and the dollar's strong. But like at some point, the dollar becomes globally disinflationary or deflationary. And, it's what's happening outside the US. We could be having, some inflationary impulses here, but if, oil is falling globally because the demand in Europe is falling off a cliff.
Not just Europe, China too. Think about this, guys. You've got Europe that's already been in trouble because they've levered themselves to China. You've got China going through a cataclysm, and you've got demand plummeting. Now you have the threat of tariffs that are basically going to start creating an even playing field between the United States and their European and Chinese partners. So they have to play ball. They have to lower their tariffs against us. They have to basically stop dumping shit in our markets. And I'm not just talking about like China. I'm talking about an unfair playing field in Europe. How many Ford F-150s do you see in Europe? It's not a lot. It's because they have massive tariffs against our country. We have allowed our wealth to be exported to the rest of the world through globalism in order to be able to enrich the rest of the world and spread democracy. That worked for a while, but I don't know if you've seen China recently. I don't know if you've seen Russia. I don't even know if you've been paying attention to the UK or what was getting ready to happen in the United States, but globalism and us spreading the wealth to the rest of the world is fucking over for the short term. And what does that mean? That means that the wealth generated in this country and the investment dollars coming in are going to be exponential. It also means that with AI, robotics, autonomy, I'm not going to say quantum computing, but a lot of advanced technology and us trying to push for lower taxes, pro-growth, all these things. The new Treasury Secretary is a godsend. We'll talk about that a little bit too. But you have to realize with all the things lining up the way they are, the capital is going to flood into this market. We're going to be incredibly rich. We're looking at a golden age, and he's going to talk a little bit more about that right now.
That's something we got to take into account too. So I don't know. We could really be in a Goldilocks scenario if DOGE works out like they think it should.
It will.
I don't know if it's going to be as clean cut as to go in there and say, oh, this department's gone, this department.
Yeah, it's not just wide roads, Albert. It's also the 100% tariff.
Department's gone, this department. And then you just have like, a reduction of all these people. You have to have a way to funnel the amount of those government employees to the private sector. And I just don't think it's going to be as clean as we think. But if it is somewhat clean, you could have yields come lower.
So here's the thing. He's wrong. He's wrong about the cleanness of Department of DOGE and what they're going to be able to accomplish. He's not even reflecting in a positive way what's getting ready to happen with the Treasury. There is so much positive stuff that even this guy doesn't get, even though he's really, really starting to hone in on the direction of what's getting ready to come. And these guys were bearish last week. I wasn't. They have brilliant commentary, but they're not always right, like everybody, right? But you just have to think about all the positive stuff that's coming. Let's let him finish his thought. There's another one I think that came in a little bit later at like the 27, 28 mark. I want to hear that too.
US growth go higher, inflation come down, and you have this Goldilocks scenario in the US. And
I've got to rewind that just a hair because this is important for you to hear. He's talking about interest rates coming down in the United States, pro-growth policy, low taxation, tariffs being implemented, which pulls business in here, and then demand around the world slowing, which keeps inflation down and benefits us. Oh, it's the perfect alignment.
And I just don't think it's going to be as clean as we think.
Nope, you're wrong.
But if it is somewhat clean, you could have yields come lower, U.S. growth go higher, inflation come down, and you have this Goldilocks scenario in the U.S. And maybe the dollar stays strong in that, and they could even lower.
So what he's saying is the dollar could stay strong, and we could still have a Goldilocks scenario in the United States where our economy is just going through the roof.
Rates to kind of be at a more neutral level, and then I don't know. That could be like a whole new 1998 boom, like similarly to that Asian financial crisis analogy. So that's a possibility.
That's exactly what's getting ready to happen. We're going to benefit from China's downfall. How long have I been saying that, guys? Do you guys even remember any of the OGs down here that have been around? I've been saying this for ages, that the downfall of China can benefit the United States. Everybody's like, no, they're the second largest economy. It means that we have to plummet. We have to do horrible. If China does bad, we're going to do bad. No, if it's over a protracted period of time, that is not a true story. Yeah, at least a year, right? Over a year. It's almost two, honestly. But it doesn't mean that it all has to come to an end. We can benefit from their decline because of inflation coming down. We can benefit from that. And so we're getting ready to. And this is very, very important to understand. I do want to jump ahead here. He had another one. There's another one in the later 20s here. We're going to listen to this part. Yeah, I don't hate China. I hate the CCP, and I know that China's getting ready to fall apart. And so I don't want people to invest in it. I want them to invest in America where they're going to benefit, and then they're also helping democracy, which is important. You don't want to promote communism. You don't want to promote countries like the UK that are jailing people for their thoughts for years. Fuck that. They need to be punished until they embrace democracy. That's the way it works. And that's financially how you'll benefit as well. So it's kind of great.
October.
Oh, here we go. Sorry.
Is down.
1 second. Let me put it.
November's down. December's down on average. But just check out the last two columns. November is usually massively down, and then December minus, the pandemic.
Not during election years. Not during halving years.
You knock that out, and it's usually
Facebook, yeah.
the VIX usually falls too.
Correct.
So you're in this low volume, slow grind, lower in volatility, which causes the risk parity funds as the VIX falls. The guys that manage to VAR, volatility adjusted risk, they have to re-lever their books and lever up in equity. So we could see, if there's no geopolitical event, I think kind of a grind up higher here for the next month and a half. That's sort of my baseline scenario. What about you, Quinn?
I go back and forth because, the seasonality stuff has been interesting this year. I mean, it's a condition, and it's.
Yeah, but you also, these guys have to look at seasonality in regard to Bitcoin halving, and then also in regard to the election season. When you look at that, it's all beautiful. It's all absolutely beautiful.
It's not a base your views off.
I did want to say something real quick. I want to pull this over. Just to get people a little bit happier. If you were buying MSTX last week, again, it was underperforming. What's it doing this week? The opposite, okay? So it's up 9.36% in pre-market, whereas MSTU is only 7.41. So they balanced it out. I said it was going to come around. It did. And that's pretty good performance because MSTR is only up 4.23%. So it is outperforming the underlying, I can't say index, but underlying asset that it follows with its 2x, okay? So we're getting some of that back. It's okay. Again, 4% on MSTR roughly, and 9.45 on MX or MSTX. So life is going to be okay. It's going to be all right. Hang in there. Again, if for some reason we get a crazy drop, and I got to show you this. No, we're going to finish our thought on this, and then we need to get back to this because this is amazing. I want these guys to talk, and then we're going to start pulling up MSTR. I got things to talk about. It's going to be good. I'll show you the roadmap for this week.
It is real for the volatility and underlying, fundamental reasons, calendar and flows and sentiment, right? Like, it's been a good year. You have, in 2022, if you remember.
MSTU was underperforming earlier in the week. MSTX was underperforming last week. I can't remember. It's been on and off. What do I own all of it of? The thing I own all of it of, like 90% of my position, I think, is MSTX. That was the one that was underperforming drastically on Friday. Yeah, MSTX. MSTX was drastically underperforming. It was nowhere near 2x. It was probably like 1.4 at best last Friday. And now that's been fixed, and now it's outperforming. So again, the stuff all balances out.
You had a big, and it might be on
Nice. Thanks, XMB. We'll look at the 210 spread too.
here. Yeah, it is. In December 2022, right after that bear slog year, everybody was pounding sales into the year
Sailor?
end on tax loss harvesting.
Okay, that's all good conversations, but somebody just said Sailor posted again. Let's look. Yes, he did. Year to date, MicroStrategy's treasury operations delivered a yield of 59.3%, providing a net benefit of 112,125 BTC to our shareholders. 341 BTC per day, stupid. At 100K per BTC, that would equate to 11.2 billion this year so far, or $34.1 million per day. That is just sick, dude. People don't realize in the bear, this will suck. This will unwind like crazy, especially if it goes up the way I think it can. So we'll be ready for that, right? And people are asking when I'm going to unwind on the MSTX. We will be covering that in a second, okay? But this is going to be a good trade. Simler Scientific has acquired 297 Bitcoin for 29.1 Bitcoin. We've got, guys, this is the way. This is the way. It's accumulating Bitcoin on your treasury. We're going to see more and more and more of that. That was just announced 41 minutes ago. There's going to be a lot of this, guys. There's going to be a lot of it. I hope you're ready for it. Let's get over and listen to the rest of this conversation, or at least this portion of it, and then we'll jump out, and then we'll start looking at, just 1 second. And then we'll start looking, sorry, I didn't have my ringer off. I dropped off my daughter this morning at school. My schedule's been really crazy the last couple of days. But then we'll look at MSTR, and we'll have discussions about that.
And trying to readjust their basis and stuff. And then you had this rip.
Never. He won't sell
January
any.
23.
You're right. The unwinding will not be, it won't be Michael Saylor selling anything. He definitely won't sell. The unwinding will be the unwinding of the NAV and the narrative of how well they're doing and the growth, because this works really good in the short term with Bitcoin's price going up. It won't work great during the bear. It'll unwind hard in the bear, most likely. The narrative will change a lot. But MicroStrategy will keep buying, and there will still be people that are willing to buy because the bond market doesn't have exposure. Jesus Christ, let me just throw my phone over here. Because the bond market doesn't have exposure, or wants more exposure with the 150, 170 trillion with the T that they have. They want Bitcoin exposure because these are the best performing bonds. And they'll still, the way they're issuing them, buying during the bear market is even more beneficial for them, even if it's at 0%. So now that the market's waking up, we'll see probably a higher floor in Bitcoin's price because of MSTR, but we would still probably see wicked volatility at the end of the cycle that could unwind MSTR really hard as everybody's trying to get out of these 2x, 3x plays when that NAV is getting crushed. So it's going to be a really fun market with MicroStrategy. It's going to be a great way to make money, I think, in the next 3 to 6 months. And then one should definitely be out of the multi-X plays, I think, by that time.
Which shows up here also in risk and Bitcoin and everything as these assets got way oversold.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, totally.
In these environments, there's a different...
Sorry, I should clarify that point. Value Maxi says, Jesse doesn't do call options on leverage ETFs because it's theta decay on theta decay. Exactly. It's just a wicked multiplier and dangerous. It's a great way to lose money. You're betting too far in the extremes.
Psychological thing, which is taxes, and that's 1231 as well. So what I've also come across is people have a lot of gains, right? Everybody's up, everydy's green.
Yes.
One,
I was saying this the other day.
Back, and you want to keep up with benchmark, and so there's chase, but also there's a hesitancy to recognize sales pre 12/31, depending on
Why would you?
type of investor.
Who wants a
which is
tax
interesting.
obligation
So,
in April?
Nobody. I can see it. I'm open. I'm trying to kind of just really watch the tape and the macro indicators that I watch. But I think you have to respect some of these flows and the shortened holiday weeks, and you're seeing it, right? I mean, even this week felt like holiday volumes in many asset classes, and who wants to put a big short on some of these ARC Kathy Wood type stocks like that are breaking out like insane inverse head and shoulders patterns. Like
just going to mention Rocket Labs because I watch it every week. It just keeps going up. I don't know.
So this is great. So what these guys are talking about now is they're saying, hey guys, there's tons of people that have made profits in a lot of different stocks. Some of them are just getting started. The opportunity ahead looks really great. It looks great into a macro environment, whether you're looking at the United States, Europe, or China. All these things adding up look really great. And then at the same time, you don't want to incur a tax obligation that's going to be immediately due in April, right? You want to wait to sell. You want to wait to sell these profits because you want to give yourself really another year before you have any major tax bills, right? So that's what's happening, and you're going to continue to see that happening. It's very important to understand the rest of this year is going to look amazing. And yeah, thank you. Sorry, Shitty. The bell is in 7 minutes, so we will be jumping over to that and trying to listen to that in a second. But let's listen to them talk about some of these other companies. And again, they showed the chart. I'm just going to jump back a hair here. They showed the chart for ARC. And what they're saying here is this is breakout zone for ARK. And yet, look at what it's done previously. And we're in this risk on mode and people are making profits. It's just so much fuel in the fire that we're seeing right now. You better understand it.
Like that are breaking out like insane inverse head and shoulders patterns. Like
just going to mention Rocket Labs because I watch it every week. It just keeps going up. I don't own it, but I'm watching it.
I mean, I'm looking at all these.
The viewers better be owning it. It's some alpha.
Like, I mean, the square chart I've seen posted around. I've seen
exactly, Albert.
Like, I mean, we talk about these stocks like, and we've been watching them. I mean, they look like the most dead, left for dead, beaten down things that caught life and are squeezing. And you got probably, all the Reddit, bros rich off their crypto and Doge and everything. And they're bidding these things into their, they're hungover the Black Friday and sitting, drunk on Thursday, and they're bidding these things. And who's going to step in front of that? I'm not. Like, who's going to do that? Like some big pod shop that's already gotten blown up on the long.
Nobody's going to short this market between now and the end of the year. They might like at the very latter part of the holidays, but the formula is straight up. And there's something we need to talk about right now. This is actually a great segue into another thing I wanted to talk about. So it is the plan for MicroStrategy. And let me just actually go over here real quick and I'll look. If you guys haven't, if you could hit the little thing over here, and I'm just going to repost this to get it near the top. That's always nice to put like a multiplier share, say something down below 17.5x multiplier. But real quickly, there's a play that HODL 15 Capital put out, and I want to read it to you. This is truth. This is so much signal here. Okay. It says, good morning, big week ahead. And here is how I think things are going to play out. When was this posted? 6:42 a.m. Nice and early. Says 1, MicroStrategy will announce a new Bitcoin buy around 8 a.m. 2, Saylor will share the data here on X. These things have already happened, right? 3, I expect a big number, quite possibly the largest BTC in history, or buy in history. 4, BTC price will drop. The predictable sell the news. He's right. We've seen a little bit of a drop, not a big one though. You got to remember, we got Similar Scientific saying that they're buying too. Lots of positivity heading into this Turkey Day. And then also we've got 5, good opportunity to smash buy BTC one last time before 100K. This is your last opportunity. U.S. stock market opens for trading at 9:30. We're going to be doing that in 3 minutes. And that's 9:30. That's East Coast time. MicroStrategy will likely see huge trading volume, allowing Saylor to sell shares via approved ATM. This doesn't have to happen today. This can happen throughout the week. ATM proceeds are used to buy more Bitcoin, maybe by the end of this week or beginning of next. Hey, we're over 1,000 people. That's great, guys. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. If you could hit the likes, awesome. Whatever. 8, ATM proceeds are used to buy more Bitcoin. Stock market is closed on Thursday for Thanksgiving. NASDAQ 100 inclusion changes announced on Friday. MSTR will likely be included in the next update. I agree with that. Some people, I think, were talking about the S&P. I don't know about that. But what I do know is I could see this happening. I could see this happening right here where they get the NASDAQ 100 inclusion. And then it says Wall Street will front run actual inclusion and drive MicroStrategy to all-time highs. So somebody was asking a second ago when I plan on selling my MSTX. It ain't until that shit happens. Okay, that's when I'm looking to sell, and it'll just be because it'll be ridiculous. We've got 2.5 minutes, almost 3. I want to pull up MicroStrategy here real quick and look at it because this is ridiculous. Again, we on here called this top right up here, right? And then I put down, hey, it can go down to here. I don't think it's going to. I don't think we're going to. I think you saw it, guys. We hit this other fib perfectly. Dropped 26%, high vol, real quick drop, game over. We still got a gap down here at the 300 range. If it fills, great. I'll buy more. I'll put another $500,000 into this easily, okay? Maybe $1 million. Maybe I'll have 1.5 million in this. But here's what I'm seeing. So with what they're talking about S&P inclusion and all this just crazy shit, I think we could see a doubling of MicroStrategy's price between now and the end of the year. And if that happens the way I think it's going to, I got this weird purple thing. There's jellyfish on top of my screen. Anyway, whatever. But if this happens, then MSTX is going up almost 200%. Same with MSTU. I have, I think, $700,000 in it. So I could make $1.4 million in the next month just off my MSTX play. And then don't get me started on the rest, okay? Everything's going up. I hope you guys realize this. Everything is going up. Everything. I hope. I've been trying to post, and I was really bullish over the weekend. I was just dumping stuff that's like, we're going to make so much stupid money. And I'm hoping that I'm saying this enough and repeating it enough where people understand that when we start going up, yes, everything, BR Japan. But when we start going up, don't be super excited to sell out of your entire position because you made 20%, okay? That is not now. That is not now. You nibble that shit off, okay? That's now. That's what we're doing right now. Let's get ready for this opening bell. Get ready to start this day, guys. I'm excited about today. It's going to be a good one.
Risk-reward scenario. Jim, they say the updated guide that we got last week does capture some of the discretionary headwinds and the markdown risks.
Yeah, look, I think it's possible. I still feel that the price differential too much.
Here, I'll keep playing this, but somebody said, is there theta decay in MSTX, MSTU if you hold too long? Yes, that's a very good point. There is theta decay. Essentially, there's a rebalancing that occurs based on the leverage, and yes, it's kind of like an option, okay? So remember that. Susan, I haven't seen you in ages. Hope you're doing well. I don't know. There's so many people in chat. It's hard to keep up. Maybe you've been here. I don't know. So I apologize if you have. But, yeah, it's going to be very exciting. Oh, let's get the bell. Bing, 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 bing. All right. Let's look at some stuff here today, guys. Let's look at the heat map. We got a lot to go over. So much to go over. I'm just going to refresh here. See them pitching that Black Friday sale up here.
A few days here, Jim.
Well, I do think that apropos of this split, when
and then while we're doing this,
I'm
split,
they announced it on Mad Money. I had thought for sure that the animal spirits would kick in and the split would start to matter. It has.
All right, I don't want to hear him talk. All right, here we go. So let's just sort shit out here, okay? Let's sort shit out. So what is happening now? Is it still off? Let's see. MSTU is 13.38. No, that's not right. This hasn't refreshed. There's some stuff. We got to wait just a second here. Sometimes the watch list, it lags like a second because the markets are updating and not everything gets updated. And so it just like takes a second to come up. But again, Bitcoin, 97,160. You could see a little bit of a drop. That's going to be okay if that happens. We're not upset about it. Hood up 7% on the day. Will I be selling some Hood? Maybe. I might actually. It wouldn't be crazy to do that. Hood is a great company. I love it. I just made so much money off of it. Let me just look over here. My old contracts, guys, like look at this. My old contracts for Hood are up 1,120%. My new one is up 377. This is off a little bit on the overall. I don't know why it's showing less than these two, which is dumb. But 377% is what we're up now, guys, in regard to Hood. Oh, I'm sorry, not even that. This is before the 7% move because this stuff hasn't recalced. I don't even know what we're up now. This could be like another 20% move. It could be really, really stupid. So I might be selling some Hood today. We'll see. Tesla's up today. Today, guys, if today plays the way I think it is and we see a drop in Bitcoin, and maybe it's just a scam wick like we can see in the bottom right-hand corner of the screen here with Bitcoin. You'll see that displayed down there. If we see some kind of scam wick, ARK is up 4%. Jeez, God, guys. We're going to make so much money. Let's just look here. Hood, 8%. HIMS, 7%. TMF, 6%. Arbitrum, Layer 2. Ethereum, 6%. ETH, 5.8. AVAX, 4.68. Cypher strategies, our Sol strategies, 4.6. Ethereum, 4%. Optimism, 3.5. ARKG, 3.25. Palantir, 4%, 4.5. Everything is melting up. Everything is melting up. This is one of the most beautiful things you'll see in the investing world. It'll probably happen well into Christmas time, and then it's just gonna. Then maybe we retrace in the beginning of the year before we start taking off again into next year. This is going to be incredibly exciting, guys. There's so much money to be made now. Look at this. Like virtually everything is up. CleanSpark only up 0.2%. Not a lot. But CleanSpark was up 16.5% on Friday, so it was finally starting to make up for shit, which is great. And I will buy into that dip. Let's see what's going down today. 2x inverse Bitcoin. BITX, or I'm sorry, no, the BITX 2x, not inverse, up, is down today because Bitcoin's dropping. Doge is down today. Silver's down today. Cypher's down today. Atom's down today. Gold's down today. Solana's down today. This is all beautiful consolidation, guys. There is nothing to be worried about with any of this. This is what you want to see, okay? This is just gorgeous. I still can't believe it. Look at that. HIMS is up 9% now. This all looks great. So if there's a drop today, I will probably looking to buy more. I'm probably going to buy more MSTX and MSTU. I'll probably buy MSTU, though. Since I don't own any of that really, and I'm just in MSTX, I'll probably look at buying MSTU. And it looks like we are getting that drop. So let me just check something real quick here. I'm just going to see where I'm at. Let me check a few things. I might make a couple of trades here real quick. I'm going to bring you guys back over to these guys, and we're going to listen to this Yahoo for a second.
He is doing a major push.
Well, no, it's a new level coming up.
New level of
level.
Agents.
Well, just explaining more of the ethos, but I will tell you that when I spoke with NVIDIA after the call, they said, Jim, you better start thinking about how to use the term agentic when you're out there.
Right.
Because agentic is the term. And I was like, Googling agentic, they don't have that. They don't.
Who doesn't have agentic?
No one has agentic yet. Agentic just started.
Well, you've just started using it.
I'm using agentic. Yeah. I'm all in agentic.
Benioff's been using it.
All right, I just made a trade for Hood. I sold, I think it was like 10 or probably 12% of what I had today. Got $40,000 in my piggy bank. So we're going to be looking again for MSTU today to purchase.
He's very agentic.
Yeah, he's all into the.
Totally.
You've seen the ads on TV for Gemini?
Yeah, I saw them.
Yeah, a huge marketing push.
Gemini is Google's large language model.
Well, see, those right now the Salesforce campaign isn't ready yet because Matt hasn't finished this.
Sorry, say again.
Matthew McConaughey hasn't finished the ads that he's doing for.
Well, Alphabet's advertising on Sunday Night Football, so that's.
I know, I know. And Jonathan Cantor, the Attorney General, the Antitrust Attorney, I hope he doesn't watch football because I think he'd feel, well, wait a second, they're right in my face.
He's
I'm
looking
going
for a new job.
I'm going to sell another
so
large
I wouldn't
chunk
worry
of
about
How
that.
do you know?
Hood
Did you get his
potentially
resume or
here, I
something?
I'm
think.
sure he's going back into private
You don't think
practice.
he
What else
stays?
is he going to do?
You think he stays?
This is more of a day trade,
He's
guys.
not going back to Paul Weiss either, I'll tell you that much.
No.
This is
Really?
not
You know
like
that?
me
Well, I'm just
giving up on Hood.
Why?
I want to be
because
clear.
he
This is a
was-
day trade.
Google's big client. So he attacks Google and then a revolving door. He's a defends Google. David, even a person.
All right, so I just sold a shit ton of Hood. I don't know exactly what I got here. I sold a lot. So I sold 130 contracts, I think, for $150,000 plus right now, and I'm going to be holding on to that as cash for a little bit. I'll be posting this in here. And again, this is a day trade, guys. Don't confuse my long-term projections and what I feel for Hood as something that, I've given up on Hood. It's not that. This is a day trade. It's different than my long-term feelings about the company, okay? So don't get it twisted. Sometimes people do that. They confuse time horizons, and that is not something you should be doing. And if this doesn't play out, I do not give a fuck. It does not matter, okay? It's just me. I've got some cash sitting on the sidelines right now, okay? EC 1999, been following you in the shadows for a bit. All in now. Thanks for your content. You're welcome, sir. Thank you for the $20. I really appreciate you. All right, so I did that there. Let me do it in the Discord real quick too, so that everybody has an even playing field. And Matt Smith made a bunch of changes to the Discord. I love him. He's a great guy. I do need to. I've got my friends list in here. I need to get that out. How do I get that out? I don't want to DM anybody. How do I get? Here we go. All right. Sorry about that. All right. Here we go. Today's trades. Where are we at? I'm supposed to use this handle at TRA. Is that how you do it? Trade. Oh, I still don't know. I don't know how I'm doing this. I'll just do this. Everyone. At everyone. Oh, all caps. All right, there we go. All right. Again, we might not get the drop in this, and that's okay. I'm just playing around. All right, here we go. So Wall Street will front. Okay, Microsoft stock drops on inclusion day. Sell the news. This is the playbook. It's right here. This is it. This is the one you want to pay attention to, guys. I'll repost it again just so it's near the top. This is the playbook. This is what you want to pay attention to. This is where the alpha is. If you believe in me in any way, this is what you need to be paying attention to. This is what we're doing this week. Okay, so I hope you get it. I hope you make a lot of money off of it. When will you purchase MSTU? I'll talk about it, and I'll talk about it for people that are on X and subscribed. You'll see those plays, and anybody that's subscribed to the Discord, so you'll get to see that too. I'm looking for it to drop, and I'll let everybody know right away when I buy it. All right, and let's look over here real quick. So again, with MicroStrategy, here's the bet I'm making, and let me just pull this up. Let's look at Bitcoin. So with MicroStrategy, I'm betting that, not sure why that happened. I'm betting that we could have a potential drop in Bitcoin, like a scam wick still, to try and establish this base down here, because we're getting rejected up here on this visible range volume profile, right? So I believe that this is tax lots harvesting. I mean, no, I'm in gains, and it's an IRA, so it doesn't count at all. But yeah, so we're at 97. I think we could break down. I think we could go down, guys. We could go down to 92 down here at the fib. We could even overshoot it to 90. That's what I think. We don't have to, but these scam wicks, the more we see volatility, the more we see irrational exuberance to the upside, the more we start to see scam wicks. And we've went a lot in a short period of time, guys. We went from $67,000 just on November 4th. What are we now? 21 days later, we are still sitting at 97. So we've had a really good run, and we made it almost to 100,000 already. So to get a scam wick down, that basically, in a scam wick, what I mean by it is it'll drop way down, and then it'll get gobbled up by all the big money, and then it'll come back up to here, and you'll have a little wick down here where it touched, and then you'll have this base establishing where it still looks like a bull flag. And then that bull flag will take off, and we'll get our measured move up between like 106, 115,000, something like that, before we stop. So again, I just get ready for this. I think this is coming. Congrats on people that own HIMs. Not really my thing right now, but I love seeing people in this group make money. So congratulations. But again, this is kind of what I'm planning for. We have dropped under 97 now, And so I'll keep, I'm actually going to move this up here a little bit. I'll keep this alert, and I'll probably put it up here. I want to put it around 94.9 because that's when I get interested. We should see, I would think, a very steep decline in some of the underlying assets around that time, and that'll give me time to buy MSTU. Again, I was at like a 700,000 this morning. That could drop down quickly because of the way that MSTU and MSTX work, but I'm hoping it does because I want that opportunity. I want that. I would love it. Oh my God, I would love it. If I have spending capital and we see a drop in Bitcoin, and somehow we get a super squeeze on MSTR where it drops down to 300. I mean, I'm probably just getting overly like optimistic right now, but if that happened, I would buy the shit out of that. I would buy the absolute. I would go insane with my buying. So again, this is why I pulled in some cash, because I like the dips. I like the dips. I like to buy the dippity dips. And this would be a great opportunity to just really get closer once we bounced back up to the previous level around 98, 90, right before we break out. Then I should hopefully have roughly $1 million in MSTR related investments. Yeah, MSTR at 403. Yeah, it's a good number. But again, if she can drop, guys, if she can drop hard. So I love that. Kind of seeing that right now. Not hating it at all. Congrats, HIMS owners. That's a beautiful number. Let me just resort here and see how we're doing. Let's look at where the pain is. The pain is MSTX and MSTU. Love it. The good stuff, Soul Strategies popping today, HIMS popping, Arbitrum, Ethereum-related investments. Hood is still up there. Flux has been a pile of shit. But, I should look at this real quick, guys. So my portfolio, for anybody who hasn't seen this, I did update it. So this is as of this morning before any market price action. This has probably changed a little bit. It shows my yearly performance. I'm getting close to my low end that I want for 2025, which is above 6.5 million. I'm actually hoping by the end of this week that I'll be over 7 million, which would be awesome. Congrats on SMLR, up 8.2%. I'm happy for you guys. But yeah, so hopefully I surpass my projection here for 2025. And I'd love to, by early next year, get to 10 million to where I could handle a retrace and still have this be the low. Because again, this is representing the lows for every year. So I want to get well above it heading into 2025. But where I am right now, I'm really close to 100% on the year. Not my best year. 600% was much better last year. I was very happy with that number. And I'm expecting 200 to 300% at least in 2025. So it's been a good couple of years, and it looks like it's getting better. So I said the account is up 800,000. Oh, and I'm starting to do this, guys, where I include the previous one. So we'll have a thread, basically, of all the different projections and where you can look and see what it was the last time I updated it, and then look and see what it was the last time I updated it before that. So I'm going to start doing it this way. But you can look here and see that the Tesla position got smaller. CleanSpark has grown because it went up a little bit, and I've been buying the dip. You can see MSTX came out of nowhere, and that MSTR has dropped to 2%, but MSTX was up to 10. I'm probably going to lump MSTU and MSTX. I don't know. If I buy a big enough chunk, then I won't have to, but I will be, again, purchasing MSTU too. I have shrunk PayPal. PayPal was smaller from my last update. I sold a little bit. Shitcoins are growing. Mara is a little bit smaller because, again, I bought a bunch and then I sold a little bit to get into the MSTR play. But I haven't sold any CleanSpark. I've been adding to Bitfarms. Hood, we just sold a decent chunk, but that was on a really, really good day. I don't even know what I was up today. Let me see if it tells me here. Today, guys, Hood was up 25% on what I sold today, I think. Yeah, 25+%. 25+% on what I sold today. So can you see why I arbed that and why I sold out of some of that? Because I'm making 25, 30% on that. And then if I can lever into MSTX on a down day where Bitcoin's dropping and I can get that down 20, 30%. Do you see what I'm doing here? Do you see how this is working? Kind of what my mentality is on this? It's just to take it. It's the big pot is all set to go up, but I'm arbitraging between different investments that are doing really, really good on the day so that I can, because that position now, guys, with Hood, just to put this in perspective, my position right now with Hood, and some of this is really broke up top, ignore all that. It's recalculating for the day. But look over here, 641% on that position now. So I sold up into the 1340 range. So over 25% on the day, guys. I sold up over 25% on the day, and I have, well, it doesn't show my cash because it's broken at the top, but I have at least 150,000 in cash now to buy MSTX, which I love, right? This is the days we live for. This is the fun that we live for, okay? This is where the big money is made. 96,332 now on Bitcoin as it continues to drop just like we wanted it to. Again, I'm not in soul strategies, but I'm happy for people that are. MSTU down 7.41%. MSTX down 9.32. Oh, I'm sorry, they're both down 9% now. And what is MSTR down? 4.79. So they're both actually tracking the index pretty good today. There's a little bit of a multiplier, it looks like, with MSTX. Lol, I've been selling my MSTR to buy MSTU and MSTX also. I mean, it's like you're dollar cost averaging into the more levered play. You're not taking margin. And then you're making it to where you're going to have a greater multiplier to the upside. It's not a stupid idea. It's what I've been doing with investments for a long time. It's what I did with Tesla. I owned a bunch of Tesla stock. Tesla stock drops irrationally over periods of time, starts to hit supportive ranges. I convert the stock to options that give me a 2 to 3x multiplier to the upside, knowing that I've got 2.5 years for it to play out, right? Still kind of the same stuff. I love that. So yeah, and we're continuing to see that drop in MSTR. I don't know what's going on with Hood. If people have started to back off that trade, they probably have. Maybe they haven't. I don't know. Let me see here real quick. 1380. That's what people are trying to sell Hood for right now. That's insane. For that contract. That contract was 1150 this morning. So again, a 25 to 30% increase in that contract. I might have to think about that. I might do something else here. I might do it dirty. Let's see here. No. It's only 1280 now, so it's way down. It's only up. It's not up. It's not enough for me to care on the Hood contracts. I'm leaving those alone now. So I've still got 83,000, or I'm sorry, probably over 100,000 between all my accounts on Hood, but a lower percentage than what I had before. I'm looking at other stuff. Micron up 3.5% today. PayPal up 2% on the day. Who loves their PayPal going up? Tesla up 1% on the day. So MSTX over MSTR short term. That's what I'm doing because I want as much leverage to MSTR as I can get. I think that people are drastically underestimating the numbers behind what we're looking at and the potential. Sorry, I'm trying to reorient some cables from all the changes that I made this weekend. I think people are misunderstanding just how much money is going to be made off of MicroStrategy. So I want to buy the hell out of any dip that happens. Look at this. MSTU, MSTX, guys, down 12, 13% now. Absolutely loving it. Loving this kind of price action. Such good stuff. Such good stuff. I might even sell some more of something else. We'll see. Just to get better positioned here. I might sell something else. Let me see. So that was up. That was up a decent chunk on the day. Yeah, we'll see. I might sell another chunk of something else. I'll show you guys in a second if I do it. MSTX is down 112. Yeah, beautiful, dude. Beautiful. Oh, I hope it drops a lot further if we get lucky. Again, I said this last week, and it doesn't have to happen, but God, I hope it does. I really hope we see a big drop. I really hope we see a big drop because I want to get more allocated. Okay, I did just make another sale. I sold some PayPal today. And again, this is about trading, guys. This has nothing to do with my thoughts long-term, really, about PayPal or Hood. I actually think both of them could do really well. But what I'm trying to do is reserve capital. Okay, I want to reserve capital for what I believe is a really great opportunity to apply more towards these containers for MicroStrategy, these multipliers for MicroStrategy. Because we like multipliers right before big booms. And I've kind of perfectly called, again, that playbook is exactly what's happening, guys. All right, so let me do this. I'm going to grab this, just post it in here real quick. All right, good. All right, so we have that, and then we'll do it over here too. And I think it was 12% of PayPal position that I just sold. But that's not including my other account, so maybe make it 10. Let me go back here. 10%. And I might actually buy some. We'll see. I might get like a little chunk here since it's down 13%. I mean, it's a good number. We'll see. All right, I'm going to let these guys talk for a little bit. We're going to go live as I'm watching these numbers. So we're down under 96 now, guys. We're dropping under 96. I think we're going to drop under 95 shortly. This is the drop. This has all been televised, right? This has been televised. This is what we're looking for. I own a lot of MSTX. I've got, well, I mean, it might be less now, probably like 600,000 in MSTX. I'm trying to diversify between these two. That's what I said my plan would be last week. So I'm going to buy MSTU today, irregardless of which one's down further, just because I want 3LMI is halted. Yeah, see, that's what I worry about with that one, is getting the constant halts. I hate that. I hate the halts. That's why I haven't went 3x leverage, because I just don't want to deal with that bullshit. I don't want to deal with that bullshit. At least I'll get halted less and have more open trading here. MSTU is down 15.64% on the day, guys. That's a nice little number. I'm going to maybe pick up just a small bit here just to get my trade going so that I have that container sitting inside of my portfolio. So I'm going to just pick up a small amount here. Love it, love it, love it, love it. Let's see, what is 100 of this? 17,000? Yeah, that's a little starter pack. We are not currently accepting market orders. Oh, yeah, I forgot about that. They only do limit right now because of just all the fucking craziness. This market is nuts right now. I'm going to dial this up 1. All right. So we're just going to buy like 17 grand as a starter pack here, if we can. And then we're going to continue to watch. Yeah, Bitcoin's starting to find a little bit of a base here. And again, if I just end up having extra cash off of a 25 to 30% up day in my hood options, I'm okay with that. I'm literally okay with all of that. That does not bother me a bit. Let me see here. I'm going to do this. 173, 75. Market, how small dump. All right, one sec. Let me read that. Sorry. Market took a small dump, including Tesla and other stocks. Did any news come out? Nah, I don't think so. I think we're just pulling back. That's fine.
It's time for Jim and Stop Trading.
Yeah, I put out a top 10 list every day as part of the CBC Investing Club, and I had to notice Procter.
Again, I just showed you something, guys. All right, let's just be clear here. I just literally told you the playbook for today, right? It was right here. This is the playbook, right? So what did it say? Michael Saylor, buy Bitcoin, make the announcement. Michael Saylor, post data about his Bitcoin and what he purchased. The Bitcoin purchase was going to be big. The Bitcoin price will drop. What are we doing? Dropping. Sell the news event, right? Normal. We've got our support zone that I've shown in this graph down below. We're underneath peak volumes when we're looking at the last couple of months. We can find support anywhere from like in the 94s all the way down to the 90,000 range. I think we could take a pretty big trip down to this fib I think that's what makes the most sense. This is a good opportunity to smash the buy button. That's what he says. I agree with that. U.S. stock market. And so he's wrong about the timing. It was after the stock market opened that the drop occurred, and I think that's probably right. So he was a little bit wrong on his timing. MicroStrategy will likely see huge trading volume, allowing Saylor to sell shares via pre-approved ATM. I think that can happen throughout this week, heading into Turkey Day on Thursday. So the stock market is, so he'll do an ATM offering, like if we start to skyrocket between now and Thursday and Wednesday, the end of Wednesday. And then the stock market is closed for Turkey Day. The NASDAQ inclusion could happen Friday, and then Wall Street will front run going into next week. They'll start to gobble up even more on MicroStrategy. And then when we get the S&P inclusion in the 100, then it will be a sell the news event. I think this is exactly what's happening. It's playing out perfectly. I love it. It's why I sold Hood up almost between 25 and 30% on the day, and why I'm going to be buying more MSTU on the way. And let's see, did I get it closed, my contract? It's still open. Let's see where we're at right now. Are people, what's going on? And let me pull it up here real quick. I'm going to try and pull up MicroStrategy. Maybe MicroStrategy is already getting a bounce. Let me see here. Yeah, it's getting a little baby bounce. So MicroStrategy's down 3.7%. People are already trying to gobble it up. I don't know. I think that's premature, but we'll see. We'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. I do want to get at least a little baby amount, just so I have my position. Let me do it here. Sorry, I'm trying to refresh on this other screen. I should give you guys something to look at while I'm doing this. Let me go live here. Let you listen to these guys talking here. A lot of people gobbling up MSTR today. All right, and I might just move on to other stuff. I don't want to bore the shit out of you guys. All right, so I have $237,000 in cash is what it says right now. So roughly $250,000. It's all good. I got an order out there to try and buy some MSTU that hasn't been closed. I just posted all my other trades for you guys so that you know it. My MSTU did just close, so I picked up 20,000 MSTU, down about 9% on the day, but I do think that that's going to go lower. Again, it was 13 to 14% a little bit ago. If it doesn't, whatever. I've still got a shit ton of money in this. I'm very, very happy with my positioning right now. Let's look what else is doing poorly today. Iron's down 4%. BITX is down 7% on the day. Did you see the massive pump in RGTI? I don't even know what RGTI is, bro. You'll have to give me more information. All right, so let's do this. I want to go through more news-related events. We still have about a half an hour until we get more data points coming out here in regard to, what was it? I don't think it was services. What was it here? Dallas Fed manufacturing. So that will be a big one. So that's coming out in 30 minutes. We'll definitely keep an eye out for that. Let's look through other news-related events. So again, we know about the MicroStrategy Saylor purchase. Carl Menger pointed out that the performance of MicroStrategy since Saylor adopted the Bitcoin strategy. And as you can see, when compared to NVIDIA, doing much, much better than NVIDIA, Bitcoin, Tesla, Alphabet, everything. And then we look at Japan's hottest stock is a 25-year-old company that adopted the MicroStrategy Bitcoin playbook, up 1,361%. Kind of a big deal. Oh, let me update this real quick. I don't think we have any more data. If you guys have new data that's coming in too, throw it out there. If there's any new news that we need to be talking about, throw it out and we can look at it. Rip Van Winkle said Saylor has opened the floodgates of the $150 trillion bond market. Those funds are beginning to flow into BTC through a MicroStrategy convertible bond. He's on pace to deploy the current $42 billion within a few months. That's how much demand there is. So the $42 billion, I think, why wouldn't you front run this? Why wouldn't you front run as much as you possibly can in the next few months? I think that Saylor's going to dump his load real fast. Okay. He could literally raise $1 trillion at 0% interest to buy Bitcoin and still wouldn't be able to drop in the bucket of the global credit markets. So again, we've got tons of people, and this is why I think the other Bitcoin miners are going to end up adopting this strategy, because they'll open up the bond market that wants exposure to Bitcoin. They can't get it in any other way. This is the best performing bond that's out there in existence right now on Earth. And there's $150 trillion that wants access to this so that they can drive up their returns. So again, what he's saying here is Saylor could drop $1 trillion worth of bonds. He could acquire $1 trillion. He could be literally turn himself into $1 trillion company and be along the biggest. He could be a part of the Magnificent Eight, and do that this next year. And there would still be bond or companies in the bond market trying to acquire more exposure to Bitcoin. This is a very big deal. If you don't understand this, guys, I feel bad for you, because there's a lot of money flowing in to Bitcoin. Look at 3MST. What is 3MST, guys? You'll have to give me a little more. I don't know what all these tickers are, so give me a little more about what it is. All right. Not too much to add there. Let me see here. Quant Bros, this is just another good one with brilliant people talking about this. We added another green candle here. So you guys can see this average. Somebody was talking about how Michael Saylor always buys the tops. That's just the stupidest thing I've ever heard. He literally DCAs. He buys all the time, okay? He buys all the time. He bought down here too. Does it count when he was buying at 15,000? Does that not count? BTC's at 95 now. Beautiful. Keep dropping. Drop it like it's hot. Yeah, let's go down to 94 Bitcoin. Let's go down to 94. Let's scare some people. I'm going to put this down to 93 because I want to hear when it drops under 93. I'm hoping we get a nice crush in MicroStrategy. We're just not seeing the crush I want. I would like to see it at least get down to 350. Ideally, we just get panic. People that are in MSTU and MSTX just freak out because they're down like 30% on the day. I would love that. And then we're going to gobble it up. Drop. Yeah, I want to lose 6 figures in MSTX today. We need at least 6-figure drops today on MSTX. Because if I'm not losing 100,000 plus, I'm not happy. OG Whale selling Bitcoin is fine, guys. Yeah, and honestly, it's just to sell the news event too, right? Like, it's just to sell the news event. That's all it is. Rob Hamilton says, if you're an insurance company and you buy $1 million of Bitcoin, you have to write $1 million down off your balance sheet surplus, which impacts your reserve ratios. Buying 1 million of MSTR convertible bonds takes no write down, and you get Bitcoin upside. Again, there's so many different reasons for different people to want access. Don't forget the Meet Kevin SL. What is the Meet Kevin SL? What's the acronym? Sorry. But there's so many different companies and industries that want access to Bitcoin, and they can get it through this. So very important. People are calling it a Ponzi scheme. These are just like uneducated people that don't understand the fundamentals of Bitcoin. It would be a Ponzi scheme if Bitcoin didn't just go up and up and up and up and up because they're 4-year cycles and everything that it is, right? It's the best, it's the most transmutable, the most transportable, transmutable. Yeah, a bunch of other things that are coming to mind right now. But yeah, it's the best asset on Earth. It's literally, I remember years ago when I really started to understand it, I was like, wait a second, you mean somebody just transferred $1 billion across the planet and they paid $5.27 for a fee, and that they didn't have any intermediaries to worry about that were going to be able to take their money away because it was from one wallet to another. And it just made me realize that, like, wow, this is a truly powerful tool, because if you try to transfer $1 billion through the banking system, look out for those fees. They're sick. Sell low? Maybe. Kyle, I'm seeing MSTU down 10%. It needs to go down more. We need more. Oh, and that was the thing for this week, guys. People were asking, like, what do you think is going to happen this week for stocks? And I got an opinion on that. We got other stuff to talk about, though, too. Let's roll through it. Seth Golden says Goldman Sachs mutual funds moved out of the Mag 7. Mutual funds are now underweight Mag 7 relative to the rest of the market. This is an ideal setup for the next leg of the Mag 7 rally historically. I would agree with that. I think we could have underperformance in the Mag 7, and I think we could have overperformance in the not too distant future. I'm very excited about that. Let's keep going down here. Got other stuff to talk about. Again, guys, look for Blockworks. Look for Blockworks on YouTube and make sure you subscribe. These guys are brilliant. Really good stuff. Also, for people interested in Tesla, I think that's the Roadster sitting in the middle. I don't know if these other ones, they look big and they look long, and I don't know what they're supposed to be. These are other, there's like an X, or these are Ys or something over here. So I'm going to say that these are the Cybercab minis, but I don't know. They're weirdly shaped. But that one here is way shorter. And again, why would you cover? Maybe you're covering a Y and making it look weird through some kind of modification because you don't want to show the Juniper. But why would you have this smaller car here covered up? That looks like a Roadster. It looks really, really sleek, way more sleek than the 3. So I think we're looking at a Roadster. Maybe we're looking at Junipers too. The new Model Y Juniper, but it's going to be very, very interesting, guys. Very, very interesting. And also, I put in here, I can't wait to get like the Guitar Hero software package where this thing can just crush my old scores. But this is going to be reality in the future, if you can imagine this. Maybe not dancing quite this way, but you will have a robot that could literally play these songs for you if you wanted to. I can't wait to open up my Christmas present sometime in the future here. And somebody was saying, too, that Japan was actually talking about the sales of this going sooner than later. Stop loss of Meet Kevin's strategy. Oh, yeah. Yeah, those people are definitely stopped out. Yeah, good call. Totally happening. Also, let's see here. Yeah, that's the Metaplanet one. The Department of Doge. I love this. Beware of Doge. I love that. I thought that was funny as shit. I also said the jobs are coming. So if we look here, the Philly Fed Manufacturing Index or employment expectations, guys, are just exploding higher. You're going to see a lot more of that. So they were in contraction territory. You're going to see a lot more of that with what Trump is getting ready to do as he gains power in the White House. This is Tesla Chan showing video. I think he's got another one of this too. Showing video of the Shanghai energy factory, and it's freaking huge already. So this is bullish. This is really exciting, guys. My buddy Funstrat, I think he retweeted me. Did he retweet me? I was pitching his stuff, talking about how much I loved it, and I think he like retweeted or something. I don't know. It's in here somewhere. Let's see. Am I in here? Am I just one of your many? I'm in here somewhere. Oh yeah, right here. Yeah, baby. I love Tom. So cool. I'm not his only one. He's got a lot of others, but kind of makes me sad. Thought we were exclusive. Anyway, I said Tesla will probably hit this zone. So it's Adyen. I don't know how to say that. Aiden. Yeah. Okay. Miller said, will Tesla reach $400 by the end of 2024? I think actually between $395 and $420. So that's my guess by the end of this year. So I'm excited about that. And then somebody was talking about the coin chart looking great, and I said up only. When I was talking up only, I'm not just talking about Coinbase. I'm talking about everything, guys. Everything is just going to start skyrocketing higher. Oh, and here's an actual video showing these vehicles. Again, I think these are Ys down below. So this vehicle doesn't look different than the Y. It looks like the Y to me. It looks like it's got a higher back, but again, they could be faking that. If you remember what they did with some of the cars. They might be faking it as taller just to kind of throw you off. But yeah, it's good stuff. Does TSLL have theta decay? It has rebalancing, which is essentially the same as theta decay. DLO, I haven't even looked at DLO today. Let me check this real quick. But all I wanted to point out here is I said it could get really interesting if it starts to break out. And this was to subscribers only, but this is showing the 50, 200 moving averages. And just showing how high we were before in the stock and how low we are now. And it's a small cap and it's a Latin American play. And I think it could really take off in the near future. Again, we had a beautifully bullish reversal pattern here on Bitcoin. It just looks great. And this is what I think MicroStrategy is going to do. We're still fueling up right now, but I think it's going to take off like a rocket ship in the near future, and I'm very excited about it. And then somebody said, predict how the stock market will perform this week, and I said more, and I mean that. We might be down this morning, but get ready for more. And everything, guys, everything is just looking beautiful from every potential I can look at. And again, look at the weekly. Look at the weekly of the top 100 altcoins. This has changed. But this is beautiful. When you start getting 100%, 1,000% days in the top 100, you know that you're in an interesting market that's only going to get better. And this one is from, talking about ARK Invest, says Tesla should be 2,600 by 2029. I know this looks weird. This is showing 2029. It's showing how we traded sideways for 3 years. I know how one could assume that this is the wrong target. But I did want to point out, Kathy Wood said previously that we were gonna hit 4,200 by a certain amount of time, and we actually surpassed her record. We broke through 4,200. People don't realize it's before it was split adjusted, right? But we hit her target. She actually was underneath of it, so she was too bearish. I do think she's too bearish here too. I think 2,600 is too low for 2029. But who knows? A major economic event could cause problems. We got Tom Lee talking, guys. I think we got to listen to Tom Lee. Let's go back here a little bit. Get a little bit of Tommy gun action. We don't want to miss our Tom Lee. We love our Tom Lee. Right,
consumers are finally perceiving prices
Jesse,
are moderating, as we've seen in the data,
but
we've been waiting for consumers to feel that and see that, and maybe that bodes well for holiday spending.
Meantime, broader markets today. Our next guest.
What are my calls on DLO? Real quick here, I can show that. I don't even remember them off the top of my head, but I will show you. Let me drag this over. All right, calls for DLO. This is what I have. I actually think this is probably too overly aggressive, but I mean, it's up 34% today, so maybe it's okay. This is a lot for today, guys. This thing has been creeping higher. I'll just show you the stock real quick, and then we'll get over to that. It's been doing really well. So, again, kind of coming into it late. Would have been better to buy on a down day, and we could still have more down days. But, again, I've been saying this one for a while. It's doing exactly what I said it was going to do. This was, in fact, an impulse, basically declaring direction, which is great, right? That's what you want to see. This massive volume candle over here was just literally DLO saying, guys, the bottom is found. We're good. And again, we have some resistance at 1150. Then we need to get up here and fill this gap, and the gap brings us up to about almost 13. And the great part of that is that brings us to a downward trend that goes back to August 14th of 2023. So we've got 15, 16-month trend or something like that that we're going to fill. And then I'm talking about the move that's coming afterwards from this breakout. I think we could have a massive move to the upside. It doesn't all have to happen at once. This is just to test what we had for the high in August of 2023. But if we get up to 24, my targets are 35 on this. I will probably bail out of a lot of DLO, at least the options, and then move into stock. We do have a large gap up here all the way to 45, and we could hit that too. That's a little rich for my blood, though. If we go, again, where we are on DLO right now, guys, and then we'll get back to Tom Lee. If we go up 120% on it, I should have a nice chunk of money in a very short period of time. And it could, again, go up to the next fib around 27, 28. But I'll be very happy about that move. I'll at least be 58% out so that I can lock in some gains. You know what I mean? You know what I mean. All right, let's get back over here. Let's listen to our boy, Tommy Lee.
For a Thanksgiving rally fueled until the end of the year. He thinks S&P can reach 6,100 by then. Tom Lee joins us this morning, Fundstrat Global Advisors, Head of Research, and a CNBC contributor. Tom, great to have you.
Somebody asked for my MSTU bid price. If you're subscribed on Discord or X, you can see it.
Good morning. Happy Thanksgiving in advance. You do write about some clearing events that we've gotten through, right?
Yes.
One is clearly best into Treasury, and then NVIDIA's earnings too kind of remove some uncertainty?
Yes, and we could tell the market was sort of holding their breath on both, because once NVIDIA reported, the markets began to levitate. And of course, we're seeing the market reaction today to Treasury Secretary. These are all both good events, but also showing you there's been a lot of cash on the sidelines. Which is
Hey,
why
thanks, Ryan,
we're rallying.
for joining.
Right.
Yeah.
Although making a pretty good yield, I imagine. What's the impetus to leave those sidelines if rates can hold these levels overall?
Well, I think one thing we have to keep in mind is there's $7 trillion of cash on the sidelines, which I think in general portfolios are overweighted and risk-free. And I don't know if it's going to be
just buy a shit ton of MSTU.
5% 2 years from now. So I think investors, as they're planning ahead and they're seeing an economy that's resilient, I think the case for equities is still very strong right now.
What is have you done any work on earnings for next year or the year after?
We're actually working on it now. Our outlook comes out December 12th.
All right. So we'll check back with you then.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, what sectors do you favor at this point?
Well, I think the template that we think makes sense is buy things that either benefit from a dovish Fed or a Trump White House, which is small caps, cyclicals like the financials, the regional banks and industrials, and of course crypto, especially Bitcoin and some of the proxies like MicroStrategy and Semler Scientific.
But did you hear what we were just talking about? Can the Trump administration get away with the pro-growth policies and a dovish Fed at the same time? Because some of them work against the Fed being able to cut rates.
Yeah. I mean, I'd say the market is very skeptical at the moment. That's what we're hearing from our clients. But that also means that's room for positive surprise. And I think one thing to be mindful of is the Fed can be dovish even if there's resilient growth as long as inflationary pressures and expectations remain intact. And so far, that's been the case.
Has it, though? We're seeing a little bit firmer core readings on inflation.
This might be our bounce
down. I guess it depends
on
what he does with tariffs.
Yeah, but if you look at survey expectations, whether the Federal Reserve Survey or UMich, we're seeing 5, even 6-year lows on inflation expectations. So we're back to pre-pandemic levels from what consumers see. And then if oil falls, as you know, that sort of pushes down the inflation forward curve.
On the 1-year expectations, right?
Yeah.
Fives have not been as well behaved.
That's right. And, those surveys are notoriously a little funky because if you look at the range of answers and the actual data, some people put 1,000% as the survey answer. So they can tend to skew the actual medians.
Right. Meantime, there is this school of thought that commodities are not suggesting rampant inflation or a return to a double-top CPI. You got Europe increasingly exporting disinflationary narratives, certainly China.
Yes, right? That's right. And I think there are many people who thought inflation would pick up because of tariffs, but as you know, it's not clear really what ends up being implemented. And if we get milder tariffs, that's actually less inflationary pressures.
I think we're going to get targeted tariffs, which will be perceived as milder. It's not going to be just across the board. It's going to be trying to help our sectors where we need help and where they're dumping. I think they're going to be milder. But you got to remember, guys, 1%, they say if a 1% tariff on China should reduce sales by 2%. So if we're implementing 10% tariffs on things, that's a 20% reduction. If we're implementing 40% tariffs, that's an 80% reduction. So it's going to get painful for China, guys. Really, really painful.
Page 1 of the Times over the weekend was about companies elbowing each other to get in front of the president-elect to make their case to be carved out of tariffs.
Yes.
And then this morning, Reuters has a piece on the farm industry, again, looking to be exempted from deportationary efforts. How much policy risk do you think is going to be embedded in the next year at least?
Well, I think this is what investors are concerned about because we know that there was a campaign that was run on tariffs and deportations, but as you know, those can be very harmful to the economy. So I think that having the right cabinet picks can actually get us into sort of the right blend of sort of outcomes, and I think that's what the market's starting to price in.
Meaning you've been impressed with the picks so far?
Yes, I think not only have I been impressed, but we can tell from our client feedback that the market's really like this.
We're up over 25% in the S&P this year. We only have a few weeks left in the year. What were we up last year?
Over 20.
I mean, what does history say about the ability to put another year of significant gains after two like that?
It has happened because, we're talking the late 90s, then 97, then we're 98, 99. But realistically, for the audience here, 20% is not a realistic expectation for the S&P. I mean, S&P return should just mirror earnings growth, which is probably double-digit. And then they should look for opportunities where there's undervalued sectors, like whether it's the financials or small caps, where they can get more than double-digit gains. But I agree, 20% a year is, very difficult.
These have been two very heady years. Yeah,
correct.
Without a doubt.
Although I think we've had 8 instances of back-to-back 20% years since the 50s.
Yes.
Right? It's not that uncommon.
Yes, and I think one thing that we have to kind of appreciate is that when someone says the median return for the S&P is like 9%, there's actually very few plots that are 9. It's either up 15 to 20 or down 10. So I'll take the 15 over the down 10.
Let's do that.
Yeah.
Let's talk soon. Thank you.
Yep,
Good to see you, Tom Lee.
As we head to break, here's our roadmap for the rest of the hour. Black Friday just around the corner. We've got some top retail stock picks for the holidays.
Plus, closing arguments in the Justice Department's case against Google over its advertising technology are getting underway this hour. What is at stake for both sides?
The president-elect making one of his most important cabinet picks, tapping hedge fund executive Scott Bessent to be Treasury Secretary. What that means for the markets and the administration's economic.
Love my boy Tom Lee. So again, I've sold a shit ton of Hood, over 200,000, something like that, and then I bought. So I sold that up between 25 and 30%, and then I bought MSTU. I'm going to see how much I own of that right now. I have put that trade out there. I'm gonna update this on the Discord as well here. But let's see where I'm at. So I have almost 200,000 in MSTU now. So I should have 800,000 roughly, maybe a little bit more, right around 800,000, I think, between MSTU and MSTX. So I'm sitting really good on all those fronts. It's a very good number. Let me see. Oh, I just minimized my window. Damn it. Okay, fuck that. Whatever. All right, let me look at comments. Reminds me of last Thursday. Wonder if we slide further down. We could, and if we do, I have more money, so I will buy that dip too. Let me see if there's anything else I wanted to cover here real quickly. We got about 7 minutes, guys, until that next form of data. So if we're gonna drop, we're gonna see a drop then. And let me see real quickly. I want to see what the heat map looks like. So I'm gonna refresh here. Looks like a pretty good day across the market, except for Nvidia, down 3.33%. I think that's okay. Tesla down 0.5%. I think that's okay. Good morning, sir. I hope China will not create another virus like last time. Tariffs hurt. Well, I mean, we actually helped fund that virus. So, I mean, was it China or was it Dr. Fauci? I don't know. But yeah, I'm not actually worried about that at all. I'm not worried about that because COVID wasn't really anything to worry about, honestly. If you were old, it was something to worry about. But if you were heavily obese, it was something to worry about. If you're very sedentary in your lifestyle, it was something to worry about. But for the vast majority of people, it was nothing to worry about, and it was an overreaction. I'm not worried about it. I'm not worried about it. They can't afford that. You got to realize that would destroy them. It would destroy them, and their people would probably rise up and overthrow the government because they've already did that, right? They were locked down. You think things were bad in the West? They were locked down for 3 fucking years, having to do things shoved into the back or up their nose, down their throats, having to just deal with bullshit, getting locked up in basically prison cells all around the country for long periods of time. They suffered greatly. They destroyed their economy from it, okay? So will they want to do it again? I'm going to say no, they don't. They don't want that. They don't want that. Am I adding to MSTX? No, I'm adding to MSTU. I said I own a lot of MSTX. I've had like 600,000 or whatever. So I've been adding to MSTU because I want a little bit in both. And so that's the plan, and that's what I'm working on. So that's what I've been buying. And I'm looking to buy more, too. It's only down 6% today, though, so I need it to drop more if I'm going to buy more. But I got 200,000 worth. So I feel like that's a good number. And I got like 40,000 extra in cash that I could buy my other favorite things. I might just actually, for good measure, buy BITX, which is a 2x Bitcoin. It's kind of like buying MSTR in a way. But I might just dump some more in there because fuck it. I want a bunch. Let's see. Can I get 500 of these? Probably. All right, real quickly, guys. I'm going to... we got 4 minutes until the next thing here. I'm going to leave it on this for a second.
Deficit, which he said is why he got involved in the campaign in the first place. He says the best way forward for the U.S. is to grow its way out of debt. So he says he'll push tax cuts to spur what he has called an economic lollapalooza. And there are questions about how he thinks about the Fed and its independence. He softened his initial call for Trump to appoint what he was calling a shadow Fed chair, but he did still say on our air that Trump should appoint someone early. He also criticized the bank for its half-point rate cut before the election. So in all of this, you can start to see why there's clearly some hope on Wall Street as the market reaction today is showing that Bessent might be able to temper some of Trump's more extreme policy views while still carrying out the policy agenda that he ran on. Guys, back to you.
Megan, more thoughts from you on the tariffs in terms of what you really can or we can expect in terms of his support, Bessent, or how much weight his voice will carry in the conversation?
Yeah.
And again, I know you're a Lighthizer expert as well, so I would assume he'll be in the mix too.
He certainly will be. That's the first thing I'd point out is that even while we have Bessent's pick now, we know he'll be atop the Treasury, there's still a whole econ team that we don't know about. That's USTR as well as National Economic Council, Council of Economic Advisors. Lighthizer could get any of those roles, or he could be more sort of a trade czar inside the White House.
Russell Jesse rotation.
So Bessent, I mean, he has a long record of talking about tariffs. At one point, he had this good line saying the tariff gun will be loaded but rarely discharged about Trump, which I don't know if Trump agrees with that. So it will have to start to wait and see who takes the lead in trade negotiations. Assuming that Lighthizer does get a role, I would think that he's the one who sort of more takes the lead on tariffs. Bessent is sort of the go-between with the markets, who sort of starts to soften it a little bit.
I mentioned his chops on FX with some big trades, and also betting against the Japanese yen was one of them, and a lot of people in that world know him well. I do wonder, has he spoken publicly at all about the Federal Reserve and this idea of a shadow Fed chair or intervening more from the executive branch into the Federal Reserve? Because that's something markets are sort of paying attention to as well.
Waiting to see. I think Bessent, it seems like, is considered to be a more known entity than someone like Howard Lutnick would have been. They would have expected someone who's more of a Trump ally or even closer to him to kind of push harder on the Fed's independence. Bessent is more nuanced, but he was the one who started the shadow Fed chair idea, saying that Trump should appoint someone early, and then when it comes to forward guidance, everyone would start listening to the new Fed chair instead of Powell, even if Powell was still atop the Federal Reserve. Even when he walked that back, he was still saying that Trump should still appoint someone early, maybe not quite as early as possible, maybe not now, but still having someone there that would sort of become the figurehead and the voice for the administration. So a nuanced stance there. We still have to wait and see more.
That was him.
Not to mention his criticisms
All right, so
of the IRA,
1 minute
of Janet Yellen, his comments about getting an elderly workforce back into the labor force. There's a lot to discuss about Bessent over the next few days. Megan, thanks. Megan Casella. As we go to break, watch Palantir today hitting some new all-time highs as B of A hikes their target to 75 this morning. Stocks up 60% on the month. And still ahead, closing arguments underway right now in the Justice Department's case against Google. We'll get the latest from just outside the courtroom in a minute.
All right, let's look over. So that's kind of going dark. We're going to look over here at the Dallas Fed manufacturing. That data point's going to come out in 1 minute. It's grinding away right now. BTC miners are recovering. Yeah, Bitcoin's price is recovering a little bit. Again, I said it could kind of go all the way down to, the 94s to 90, and we made it to 94,643, roughly. So we did exactly what I thought we were going to do. I got in $200,000, roughly down 8% on the day after selling Hood up over 25 to 30% on the day. This should be a nice little arbitrage play for me, just bouncing between these two different assets that both kind of have some Bitcoin exposure. So I'm very excited about it. Very excited to see where we go from here. It's going to be a good day. It's going to be a real good day. CleanSpark, those CleanSpark options are down 7.74%, even though CleanSpark is up 2% on the day. That kind of seems like an overreaction, but again, the options contracts were also doing really well last week. So we'll see. I think I think they're cheaper right now and than they should be, and I think that will close here in the near future. Let's see what else we got. Anything else? I'm just going to dump. I got this image over here I'm just going to dump this in my other one. It'll be easier. Oh, that's what I should do. I should write it out in the Discord and then dump the image. Maybe that's what I'll do. Let me just do this real quick here because I need to update. It's hard. The hard thing is keeping both updated with all the right information, right? All of today's trades probably done for the day. All right. Subscribers only. Cool. All right, so now they're both in sync on each side, which is wonderful. So let's check our economic data. They're not talking about it on CNBC, but we're down negative 2.7 points. Consensus was negative 2.4. Forecast was positive 1. So the Dallas Fed Manufacturing Index has taken a little bit of a hit. Not really a big deal, though. If you look here at the trend, it's still good, right? It's still good. Since really May of 2023, the trend is going back more towards positive. So we don't hate it. But now showing buys on X subscription. Oh, damn it. I'm in green on MSTX again. Too quick. Isn't that bullshit? Don't you hate it when you make money too quickly? It's like, why are you already up? Yeah, once I saw the momentum wasn't cascading quite as much. And again, we could still go down. Could still go down.
Closing arguments underway in Google's advertising technology trial with the Justice Department. Eamon Jabbers is here. He's got more from outside the courtroom. And Eamon, can you just start off for all?
I don't care about Google. All right, so real quickly here, I want to look at the watch list and see where we're sitting. I'm just going to refresh. Any thoughts on the Tesla dip today? It's down 1%. I don't know. It's nothing. You could certainly buy it. I've got a lot of exposure. I'm still over 2 million on Tesla, guys. So X subscription is not showing buys. Yeah, it is. Literally is. Right here. Exclusive to your subscribers. If you're a subscriber, it's showing it. There's an easy way to find it too, guys. If you don't know how X works, you can go to subs. So on yours, it should, I think it says subs on yours too. And all this will show, it might look different on your end, but it'll say something like subscriber or sub or something like that. And that will show you all the posts that I've done that are subscriber only. So check that out too. It's an easier way to see it. He's saying you posted something that you bought XXX. Oh, no, I put XXXX because I didn't want to show the ticker. That's all. Bitcoin's now at 92. The way it works, it will show the first couple of words. I don't want to show the people the details of what I'm doing for my trade and then not have them sub. So that's why. Jesse, how good is Grok? It's amazing. You can literally, with Grok now, so this is new, but I'll be able to take a PDF and I'll be able to dump it in here. So let's say like NVIDIA gets their earnings report, they got a PDF, they dump it out. I can pump it into Grok and say summarize the most important parts of this, and it will go through the PDF and it will summarize everything and point out the things that I should be interested in. It's amazing. It's getting better by the day, and it can also look at, MRIs and X-rays and for both pets and people and tell you what's going on. It's really cool. Iron earnings soon. Let's look over here. What does the earnings calendar look like this week? So Iron is Wednesday, Flux is Thursday, Best Buy is Tuesday. What about next week? And I'll probably actually I might actually do earnings for Iron. I might actually do earnings for Flux too, even though it's like less than 0.3% of my portfolio now. I might take a look at that too. CleanSpark is next Thursday. That's a big one. That's a big one. We're doing that for sure. But I might actually do a Wednesday for the earnings on Iron. Maybe we can just do like a pseudo market recap focused on Iron earnings, and then also do something similar with Flux on Thursday, because I've never listened to a Flux earnings call. I have a very small allocation to it, but it would be nice to get a better bead on what the Flux is going on, especially since the stock's been sucking. Let's look. How is Flux doing? How fucked up is Flux? Let's look over here. So HIM is still up almost 15%. ARB up. TMF, TLT is getting a bid today, guys. Up 3% on TLT, I believe. Or no, this is a 3X, so maybe up 1.6% on TLT. ARCG is up 5% today. Are you shitting me? Ho, ho, ho. Guys. That's crazy. Let's look at ARCG. That's fascinating. Okay, so let me pop this over. it's just getting so consolidating. Is that the term? That's the term. We'll give it that term. So look at this, guys. Look at this. I need to move all this stuff over because it's all weird now. I need to move all of this. But, yeah. This is nuts. The kind of stuff we could see on ARKG here soon is going to be for the record books. Because if you look over here, look at where we are right now. This is 5% upside. You could see this consolidation range really. If you look at it, this is like legit. We had one little pseudo breakout, then couldn't get above it again. This is our resistance line. So when ARKG does get above this level at 29, it's game over, guys. It'll be a very quick run to 32, and then a very quick run to 35, and then I think again there's a lot of room for this thing to break above that over the next year and get to the 47 and above range. Again, this thing can go to 77 this next year, guys. I really believe that. And there's a huge multiplier on the options contracts right now for this thing. It's like 10x, maybe more. So it's something close to that. Look it up yourself with the options profit calculator. You guys know how to do that if you've been paying attention. But I'm very excited about this one. I'm very, very excited. Very, 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 very excited. I keep getting this verification message on fucking YouTube. It's pissing me off. Solid looks that the boy is like up. Solid looks like that boy is up like 5%. Yeah, ARKG. I bought ARKG just before it started. Lol. CPA, how long can market makers use this strategy to keep shorting BTC miners? They can't actually. They can't probably for long because again they ran into a rule where they had to, I forget the number associated with it. But where they were basically having to alleviate short pressure on it because it's like a conglomerate doing it. They're probably going to get in trouble for it. And what's up with the CLSKW? It's low volume, memeing. I don't know. It's the warrants. I haven't looked at the volume on it. I haven't really paid attention to the warrants. I think CleanSpark, guys, if CleanSpark makes an announcement that they've done some kind of 0% convertible debt bond offering or that they're going to, I think you're going to see it scream higher. Absolutely scream higher. I hope that's what Matt Schultz is looking to do. And he did have a comment, and somebody was asking about it earlier, so I'll pull it up real quick here. And then in a little bit, maybe we'll probably wrap things up, maybe in like the next 15, 20. But I just want to save this real quick on ARKG. So there was a comment from Matthew Schultz. Let's just find him real quick. Schultz. Okay. Let's see. I think that's close to being spelled right. Oh, I'm putting this in Grok. As an executive chairman. So it's giving me all the information about him. Yeah, it's good. It did all right. I actually need that in the search, though. Schultz. It's with a T. All right, there's our boy Matthew. So he's the CEO of CleanSpark. And he did say something a while ago. This will get rid of it. What is this? Fintel. What did he post? The short interest tracker provides... Okay, what is this? 31 minutes ago. 8 hours ago. What is he talking about? This will get rid of it. 22%. 1.33 days to cover. Ooh. Interesting. Off-exchange short volume ratio, 31%. The short interest tracker provides a variety of short interest. What is he talking about? What is he saying here? For those too lazy to click the link, yeah, no, I clicked the link. According to this, there is the latest days to cover. Oh, so they are talking about days to cover. I thought that's what they were focused on. I hate the shorting principle because it's getting betting against the development and success of American companies. I think South Korea banned it, and it's working great. I don't mind shorting, but again, it did pull down. It pulled down Tesla for a long time because of people like Bill Gates and other assholes that were trying to prevent them from doing well. So I do like this post, though. I'm going to share that. That days to cover is really smart because what he's saying is there's going to be a bunch of buy-side pressure where these guys are going to have to cover. So get ready for some CLSK popping like it's hot. It's coming, guys. keep doubting. I love Matt. He's a good dude. What would happen? Oh, yeah, and this might have been the other one you were asking. What would happen if it leaked that a $4 billion company had a third of its total outstanding shares sold short as a part of a coordinated strategy, asking for a friend? Now, this is where he was shitting on the people that are doing this coordinated strategy to fuck CleanSpark, and saying that that's going to turn around and bite them in the ass. I agree with that. It's going to be really painful for them. Really painful for them. So if you don't have enough long CLSK, you should. What's your excuse? MSTU. I am now up $1,000 on my MSTU purchase. Or, I'm sorry, $16,000 on my MSTU purchase. So that's pretty cool. It is flat on the day now. MSTR is pretty flat. It's a little bit negative. MSTX is up 1.12. So again, that was underperforming last week, guys, but now it's 1% better. Yay. These things tend to correct themselves. So I think, guys, I've got $900,000 in MSTR, MSTU, and MSTX, with most of it being in the levered plays. So I'm feeling really good about my positioning on MicroStrategy right now, and I feel like I've got a massive magnifier to the upside. It's going to be a crazy day. Up over $100,000 on the day today, guys. Hitting that six-figure number yet again. And I don't even think the market has started its final form yet for the day. So it's going to be a fun one. It's going to be super fun, super juicy. Going to make lots of money. Your boy Jesse going to make lots of fucking money today. It's going to be sweet. Mara's flying. Cool, man. 5.22. Looking good on Mara, guys. You're right. Beautiful looking number. Still got about 165 on the main account with Mara, and then I've got a bunch of other accounts that have it too. Probably sitting on $250,000, I think, in Mara, maybe. Something like that. I don't know. So I didn't buy MSTU, was waiting for it to go lower. That happens. SMLR up 20% on the day. Love the tight float. Just Tom Lee mentioning it. Send it up. Yeah, Tom Lee can do that, can he? Lavongo, can you review Bax International, IV Solutions, and Body Fluids? I don't know if I'm going to get to a lot of review today, guys. I'm probably going to cut it a little bit early today. I had a lot of stuff in my personal life. So my nephew has moved in. He's on probation now for 60 days. I had to get my guns out of the house because I didn't want them to be around, even though they're locked up in a safe. Had to drain my alcohol, just doing all the things to make it to where our probation officer won't have any issues. But going to clean and overhaul the whole house before Turkey Day. So I've got a lot of stuff in my personal life going on. Yeah, I actually love guns. I'm a pro gun guy. I got an AR-15 and got a 9mm handgun. But yeah, can't have them in the house with somebody that's on probation. So I don't want it, at least. I don't want them to have any worries whatsoever. I don't want to get my nephew in trouble. Yeah, I think we're going up a lot today, guys. I don't know if you're getting the theme, but it looks like that was the flush from what I'm seeing here. And this thing could still close on the daily and be in positive territory and look very bull flaggy. So what do we have? MSTX is up 3% on the day. MSTU is up 2.25. I'm up 20 grand on the purchase I made this morning with MSTU. MSTX shows that it's in negative territory, at least on this one, but I bought this one high. My other accounts, guys, I'm flying already. So they're looking really, really good. Again, Mara up almost 7% on the day. Congratulations to all Mara holders. Hood up 5.35%. It's dropped a little bit, but again, that was a blast today, guys. If you own this, it's down now, but it was up a lot earlier on the day. And it might not be... Oh, you know what? I wasn't up 25 to 30%. I was up like probably 18% or 17% because it was still holding on to gains from earlier in the day. It does that sometimes on here. I don't know if all exchanges are like that. So ignore I was up 25 to 30% and cut that like in half on Hood. I was up less than that, okay? That's the honest number. Options on TLT until I save for down payment on a house. Opinions on TLT. I think TLT is something I'm going to be moving into more of. Good to hear your nephew stayed out of prison. Just served a 15-year sentence. Yeah, dude, I don't want him to be in that. He's not the kind of... He's too good looking to be in prison, and he's only 19. He had a potential of 30 years, but they switched it to 10 and then suspended it. And then he's got work release with an ankle monitor and his probation, I'm sorry, is longer. It's supposed to be 3 years, but from what I heard, it'll be like half that. It'll be like 18 months. And he's already had like 7 or 8 months. So he's like 30% of the way through this. And there's potential, crossing fingers, hope to die. Well, not hope to die. But there's potential that he might be able to get this off his record after 18 months, too. It's called a suspended imp. So that would be amazing. So his life could just be so much better. SMLR, everybody keeps talking about it. Let's pull it up real quick. We'll look at that ticker for a second, okay? Since you guys are all giddy up about it. And I don't know if I have that one. I've really got to update the tickers, too, in Discord, guys. It's on my list. I'm just I've got so much going on. Oh, isn't that beautiful? So this one looked ugly before. But as we've seen, and this is doing this thing where it doesn't update. I'll take that off of there. Because that obviously didn't happen after last week. We already had some of this move. And then again, you can see where it actually consolidated above this previous, channel, establishing support and then going higher. So beautiful looking move on SMLR. And again, these guys, they bought a bunch of Bitcoin. That's the strategy. Gotta love it. It's going to be a lot of this, guys. A lot more companies doing this kind of thing. Show that boy how to be a man. Yeah, I've been trying to. He's already so much better, man. He's already even after that incident, he was getting better before, but then he moved out of my house and then kind of reverted back and had some other problems. Now he's living with me again, and he's not drinking anymore. And he wants to. He had a kid. His baby is 3 months now. His name's Lincoln, and he's a cutie, and he loves him, and he wants to take care of him. And he's grown up a lot in a short period of time. So, a lot. But let's look here. Let's go back. I just want to see how's the port doing. I am up, about 16,000 on that MSTU play. Love that. It offsets this other one here. But again, this isn't even my good account. I started buying an MSTX here, and then I dumped a bunch into my other accounts too. So I'm so happy right now, guys. I've got, I'd say maybe even close to $900,000 right now in MSTU, MSTX, most of it in MSTX, then MSTU, then at MicroStrategy. And that feels like such a good position to be in right now. Again, up well over 100 now on the day. This main account is up 96,000, probably up 120, 130, maybe even more across all the accounts because I have that MicroStrategy trade. So I'm going to have to look later and kind of finalize that number. Kids make mistakes. I know, dude. I know. It's just, it was stupid shit. But he wants a good life. He knows that he has anger management issues. And he knows now how to control them. And he knows that just because, he knows basically what his first initial reactions are to things. And he knows that he has to remove the emotion from it and analyze it. And things like stoicism and counseling and just... He's able to understand himself better, and I think when you can understand your own brain better, and having this, he rides with me in my Cybertruck a lot, and when you're in the Cybertruck, you learn something very quickly. You learn that assholes will just give you the finger every day, and so if you know that you're going to get the finger every day from these people, it makes it to where you have to be okay with it. And I think that's been a lesson, not just for him. I've had anger management issues most of my life. And so it's helping me too, which I love. I want to be a better person. And in case you guys haven't seen this in a while, I've got an image for you. Let me see here. So it is, oh, can I hide his name? Can I hide Sonny's name? Let me see here. I got a friend here. I don't want to show his name, though. And my eyes are closed. Let me see here. Oh, he's got me in a story. How do I just look at the picture? Give me 1 second. I'm trying to show my Cybertruck with my friend Sonny in it. Copy image. Can I open image in a new? Copy. I don't know. Let me see here. I'm trying to... All right, let me see. My eyes are closed in this, so I look retarded, but I'll pop it over here for a second. but it is the Cybertruck. There's my retarded view with my eyes closed. You see up here, though? You see where it's got the rack? I got my rack up top, guys. I love it so much. Let me go back. See the rack right up there? I love it so much. And I took my friend Sonny for a ride, and he got to enjoy some of that, and see what it was like. And I think, Sonny, I don't know if you're watching. I'll just say what I think you were thinking, and from what you told me, that it was beautiful, and that it was much better than he expected it to be. And then I had it driving him around, and I showed him all the features of it, and it was just badass. And I think he fell in love. He's an Audi guy. He's been an Audi guy for a long time, and they're great cars. I loved Audi so much in my life. Right? Don't I have a nice rack? Yeah, that's my baby right there. That's my baby. And even Elon Musk liked my Cybertruck, guys. I've shown a bunch of you this a bunch of times, but I'll show it one more time. When I first got it wrapped, I was so excited because Elon Musk told me my Cybertruck was cool. And that is the only time I've talked to Elon Musk. And I mean, technically, I didn't talk to him. But I'm going to say I talked to him and that we're friends. Because he said nice. And then he liked my post. So that's the closest I've been to the sun. Right there, guys. Right here. Nice. Made me very happy. And then I got my little handle on it. But yeah, it's been an awesome ride. Crazy ride. All right. So guys, I'm trying to think, is there anything else going on? I think things are pretty chill right now. Rule 201. Jesse, did you talk about the Rule 201 on the miners at all today? I did not, but that's the one I was trying to remember. Rule 201. Let me see if I can find that. Oh, I should punch it into Grok if I can't find a post about it. There's something about Satan. I don't know if that's what I'm looking for. Shorts are increasing to 2.5 million shares of Lucid. Let me just Grok it. Let me Grok it down here because I don't want to butcher it. This is probably new for you guys. What is 201 and how will it impact CleanSpark? So I'm asking Grok, of all people, this question. And let's see how he does. I think you guys will be surprised. Grok is amazing, dude. I love Grok. It automates my life. All right, so let's, and then I don't want to read any of this because you know me. I am lazy as fook. So let's just do this. So we'll take Grok and we'll throw my boy into it and let him talk.
Rule 201, also known as the short sale price test circuit breaker, is part of the SEC's regulation show. It is designed to address concerns about market declines due to excessive short selling. Here's how it works. Trigger, Rule 201, is triggered when a stock experiences a price decline of 10% or more from the prior day's closing price. Effect. Once triggered, it imposes a restriction on short selling. Short sales of that security are allowed only at a price above the current national best bid, which essentially means short sellers must buy back shares at a higher price than they sold them, potentially reducing downward pressure on the stock price. Impact on CLSK CleanSpark Inc. short selling limitation. If Rule 201 is applied to CLSK, it would mean that short sellers can't drive the price down by selling at or below the current best bid. This could potentially limit the downward movement of the stock price due to short selling activities. Market sentiment. The rule can
I'll clarify this a little more at the end.
Affect market sentiment, particularly around stocks with high short interest. If CLSK has been subject to heavy short selling, Rule 201 might lead to a short squeeze scenario where short sellers rush to cover their positions, potentially driving the stock price up.
1.3 days.
Application. There have been discussions on social media platforms like X about Rule 201 being applied to CLSK, suggesting that it might have been triggered due to recent price movements. This could imply a temporary restriction on short selling, possibly leading to a stabilization or increase in stock price if the market reacts positively to this limitation on volatility. And recovery. The rule might contribute to reducing volatility caused by aggressive short selling, giving the stock a chance to recover or at least stabilize, assuming other market conditions are favorable.
So to be clear, that definitely had impact on Friday when the stock was up 16.5%, okay? That was definitely impactful. I don't know if the rule is still in effect. Again, it's usually on a day where the 201 rule kicks in. But what's beautiful about this is, and a bunch of miners had this problem, is there's not a lot of days left to cover. 1.33 is a very low number. So you're going to see, we've really got the potential here, guys, where if Bitcoin is getting its bounce, and right now, if you look in the bottom right corner, you can see that little wick. If we just like zoom in a little bit here more, you can see how we've wicked up pretty good on Bitcoin, and the potential for launch is growing by the minute. If we start to get a launch scenario on Bitcoin, these shorts are going to be forced to buy back because they want to get the fuck out. They want a GTFO, right? So you could be looking at a pretty wicked melt up in CleanSpark today or tomorrow or Wednesday, or all of these days. So again, my buddy Rex said this before, but eventually the shorts have to cover. And I think Matthew kind of alluded to this too, Matthew Schultz, with some of his recent comments. Again, he's kind of saying, like, guys, you're going to get effed. And he's saying that with this will get rid of it, the flames. And he said that right here when he said what would happen if it leaked that a $4 billion company had a third of its total outstanding shares sold short as a part of a coordinated strategy. So again, with them saying that and this rule kicking in, it's applying wicked amounts of pressure right now to these guys. Is Mara doing really well? I believe it. Mara's up 8%. That ain't bad. That ain't bad. We'll take it. We'll take it. So that's good. Those are good numbers. I do think, though, we're looking at the potential of a wicked melt up in Bitcoin miners. Again, CleanSpark's up 3% today, guys. 3% on the day. This is only going to get crazier. I still think today, well, I don't know if it's today, but I think by the end of this week, I'm going to hit $7 million for the first time ever. And I'm very excited about that. And I think that's coming hot and fast. And I hope people are ready for it. I hope you guys have invested in miners. I hope you guys have invested in Bitcoin. Somebody asked about the speech service. No, that is not. That is a different. So I've got that set to listening right now. I'm going to turn that off. But it's a different program that I use on my phone for speech. I'll see if I can find it here, what it's called. I don't remember it off the top of my head. What is it called? What is it called? I don't know. I don't remember if this is the one that's integrated with, it's like speech. I don't know. I'll find it and I'll post about it so you guys know. So look for something like that. But I love it. The speech thing is great. Yes, Mara has a star today, up 8%. Yep. I don't know if it'll stay as the star, but it's doing great, and it will continue to do great because they're on the Bitcoin standard. Can you let me know where I can learn about options? I do have an Options 101 video that I made. Options are stupid dangerous, and so you shouldn't get into them without knowing what you're doing, and you should take it small, very slow and very small, okay? I will post it in here. I don't like seeing people get wrecked. So even in this video, I talk about the dangers of it. I talk about how I like leaps and I like buying on dips. I don't like buying when everything's been going up. So I want to be very clear on options. That's the link. I just sent it out there. So you should see it. I don't know. I think it'll come over. I don't know. It's definitely on the YouTube stream. I don't know if it'll come over into the X stream. You should see it. If not, well, yeah, maybe you won't see it. Let me do this. I'll try and bring it to you. I'll drop it into the comments on X. Just give me 1 second, okay? Let me just readjust here, and then I'll put it on X since you're in X as soon as it lets me. ARK is killing it. Yeah, dude, we just talked about that this morning, right? From the Blockworks guys, we're going to start to see explosive breakouts in a number of different areas, guys. There you go. I posted that, Goncalo Oliveira. I posted it now on X. You should have that, my friend. So enjoy. Freedom Options, ARKG. How's ARKG doing? ARKG is at is up 6% on the day, guys. We're gonna start making a lot of money on ARKG options. There's so many things that are gonna start making money. So many things. I hope you guys realize. MSTU actually taking a hit along with MSTX. It looks like MicroStrategy is still dropping a little bit. I'm not quite sure why. Again, it's probably just like we're getting near the settling point. Thanks. I can go to YouTube. I've been investing for a while, but I've never. Yeah, options are dangerous. Just be really cautious with options, guys. Like right now, it's fun when you're making money, right? I'm all about making a multiplier of returns, but they're also the devil. They're not the devil in the way that margin is the devil. Margin is the ultimate devil when it comes to investing. But just don't hurt yourself, man. I don't like to see people get hurt. It's not something that makes me happy at all. So I'm trying to show you guys strategies to make you a bunch of money. Options are really best when things are very, very oversold. that is the sweetest time to get in on options. It's not when things are skyrocketing. Just remember that, please. Bunch of followers. We're at 1,627 subscribers now, it says on here on X, guys. I'm sorry, 1,637 because a couple of minutes passed. And I do, guys, just so you know, with subscribers, I follow every subscriber on X, which gives them the ability to DM me. I can't always guarantee a response, though, because, man, I get so many. And between Discord and X and YouTube, I'm responding all the time, and I can't keep up. So just keep that in mind. Not financial advice. Yes, always that too. Again, I'm just sharing my experience so that you guys can hopefully benefit from what I'm talking about and learn. It's really about teaching you guys to fish. Someday I might not be around, so I need to make sure that you guys know what you're doing. All right, what else do we have? Is there any other crazy news going on, guys? It's 10 o'clock right now. I might call it. I've kind of done all my trades. I've shifted $250,000 around. I feel like that's a decent chunk. Oh, yeah, that coming soon thing. Oh, you guys are right. That's fascinating. The whole Tesla Optimus. I'm gonna repost here. Check this out, guys. This is weird. This is Tesla Japan. Oh, did it do it? It didn't do it. Let me refresh here. This is wild. They're showing Optimus and they're saying coming soon. And again, he's coming in 2025. So that is happening. But how soon? I don't know anymore. Imagine what happens with the Tesla narrative if this thing really starts to come out. Just imagine. It's going to get nuts. It's going to get stupid nuts. There's going to be so many nuts all over the place. Palantir up 5%. I told people, SoFi guys, SoFi is going to melt up. People are like, hey, can it double? I'm like, it could triple. Like, the world's getting weird right now. Will you do an occasional political video from time to time? Yeah, probably. I'll probably do political in regard to its tie-in with financial more, because I might shit on Canada and the UK just for fun, because until you guys get freedom from your oppressive government, I'm going to be an advocate for you. But outside of that, since things have stabilized in the United States, I'll still probably talk about like politics with China. I'll talk about politics with the UK and Canada, and then I'll talk about politics from the United States, but it will be from the perspective of where the country's headed from a macro and financial perspective. Palantir to the moon. I mean, God, isn't it already there? It could go higher though. Everything can go higher. I just can't give like tops right now on anything because it's all freakish. It's all freakish. But if we look at the weekly, I do want to point again. Here's what I want to point out: the ability for Palantir to go higher is going to be very, very difficult because we've already went to 85, almost 86 on the RSI on the weekly time frame, the highest in ever. And the level of divergence that's going to break out, this company would probably have to break out to like 150 to break above this and kill this divergence. And the next RSI is at 82. So can it go to 82? Totally. Can it then go to the next level? No. It can go up for a while, but Palantir will start to break down. It will start to break down at some point. It's got to. Unless it just becomes a hedge for war or something else. It's going to start to break down. Looks like my dog's over here to see me. That's kind of a bummer. I don't want her getting over here, so hopefully she stays out of the room. Oh, she's coming into the room. Okay, 1 second here, guys. 1 second. Shiley, out. Go. All right, sorry about that. Don't want my dog pitter-pattering on my wood floors. It gets really annoying. So, let me see here. So I think, guys, I'm probably going to... Amit posted PLR price target of 75. Amit's a technician now. Fascinating. Where did he get that number from? Okay. But, yeah. So there's so much going up, but Palantir would be like the least of my bets. Again, it's been an awesome deal. In 2 years, in the underlying asset, you've made over 1,000%. Yeah, if you made that 1,000%, you're like 100% in, and it's the only thing you own. I think you're being stupid. Rob Group, what do you think about selling short-term MSTR and MSTX puts? I wouldn't fucking do any of that. Again, theta decay on theta decay, and they can move massively. What happens if we get some weird news and things don't play out the way I think they're going to play out over this next week, and you've got puts on MSTX and it just drops like 30% in a day or 40% in 2 days? I wouldn't do calls or puts on leveraged things already. It's already a 2x multiplier. I would enjoy that 2x. I wouldn't try and make it, an even greater multiplier. I think that's dangerous. If I'm doing that kind of stuff, I'm doing it with options. Fun fact, Bitcoin is up 450% since Justin Trudeau said, what did he say? Anyone who bought Bitcoin would have lost more than half their life savings. It figures that he's anti-Bitcoin. That makes sense. He's kind of a dipshit. All right. Can you share insights on your beef with margin? It's evil. It's evil. Margin. So there's like, what is the Warren Buffett quote? What is the Warren Buffett quote? Maybe I can get it over here. Maybe I can get it. Oh, no, not there. Grok. Okay. What is the Warren Buffett quote about margin? This should be pretty good. It should be able to tell me this. Essentially, it says like 3 most important words in investing are margin of safety. No, that's not it. So he talks about like the best ways to lose all your money. The three things that destroy men: booze, women, and margin. So, and I agree with that. I mean, at least in regard to the margin is incredibly dangerous. It's basically, it can liquidate you. It can pull you out of positions at the worst possible timing. Do not do margin. Megatron. Please do not do margin. Megatron. All right. Huh. That name is familiar. It's an old friend of mine. We used to call her that. Oh, it's also like somebody on X too, Megatron. SoCal Dad, totally agree. Yeah, just stay away from it. Don't touch margin ever, guys. It's one thing to touch options. Options are dangerous. Margin debt is really super fucking dangerous. Webb Bush of BA did the 75. Oh, okay. Yeah, Webb Bush. That makes sense. So he's just quoting somebody else's. I was going to say, I can't imagine him coming up with his own price target. He's not really a technician. All right. Any other comments from anybody? Otherwise, I think I'm getting bored. I think I'm going to call it. I do like having my screens where I don't have to worry about that disconnected message. Oh, that's so much better. What would it be worth to add to my Mara position or wait for a dip? I don't know. I don't like to add on things when they're going up, guys. That's not my style at all. Right now, you could add to BITX a 2x leveraged play for Bitcoin, down 7.33% on the day. You could add to MSTX down 6.14 on the day. You could add to MSTU down 5.4% on the day. Why wouldn't you add to those? Why would you add to Mara that's up 8%? Plus, if you have no exposure to MSTR, why wouldn't you be in one of these two? Again, not financial advice, just not margin. Yes, not margin. Yes, that's true. Not margin. Senator Ted Cruz, I aim for Texas to be a hub for Bitcoin and cryptocurrency. Yeah, I believe it. Nicholas Broches, hopefully I'm saying that name. Broches. I have some cash from a CC credit card. Like you said, adding while things are getting from a credit card, like 0%, hopefully for 18 months if you're touching that stuff. And I don't advise that for people. That is what I've done in the past when Bitcoin was at like $3,000 and I knew it wasn't going lower. I borrowed from credit cards at 0% for 18 months to be able to buy the dip. It was the last option I had. I don't recommend it. I was just desperate. And I knew it was going to turn out well. And it did. It turned out really, 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 really good. Let me see. There's another article here. I wanted to see it. Where did it go? It was a good one, too. I've lost it. I hate that. I hate it when that happens. hate it when it happens. I only use margin for settling trades to avoid. Oh yeah. Okay. GFV. Like you don't want the trading rule. I get that. That's different. Yeah. That's different. But a lot of people aren't even advanced enough to understand that. Nicholas, from a covered call, my stock got called away. Yep, that'll happen. Dario, Kevin tries to convince people to buy Tesla and MSTR now. Luckily, I knew you, Jesse. Yeah, don't listen to him. Andrew, any thoughts on what to rotate into after the Bitcoin cycle ends? I've got a lot of thoughts. I actually think Tesla's really going to do well. And I think Bitcoin is going to be more of a long-term investment for a lot of people too. But I think if DOGE does well and they're able to handle their debts well, I think TLT will actually be a decent investment as a cash type play that can go up a decent amount. So I'm excited about that. And then Argentina, I think, will be a really good one. But it's hard to tell you what to buy the dip into because I don't know where everything else is going to be over the next 6 to 9 months. So it's really going to be one of those things where it's like, stay tuned. Is XRP worth the hype? XRP is bullshit. Could it go up? Yes. It's garbage. Here's what you need to know about XRP. Asking for a friend, assuming that you're asking for a friend, is that it's called the banker's coin. So if you loved the old legacy banking system, then the banker's coin is a great option for you. I don't think it's worth anything. I think it's trash. And it's underperformed the last several cycles. It couldn't even get past its previous all-time high, let alone keep up with Bitcoin. So why would you be involved in that trash? 6 to 9 months, not 69 months. Tommy. X payments coming, Doge. It could be. Yeah, you could see Doge literally coming. I agree with that, Wealthy Beaver. I think he loves Doge. He loves it because it's funny to him, and things that are funny to him, he embraces, just like tits and ass and all the other stuff, right? So tits is the Texas Institute for something, I don't know, and then ass is actual smart summon. And then Doge, the Department of Government Efficiency. You can kind of see the guy's sense of humor, right? And he's going to embrace the stuff because he turned shitcoin into a government agency to destroy the government. It's kind of awesome. All right, Noel, Jesse, not investment-related question, but do you know if Grok can create computer programming code? I don't know if it specializes in that yet. There might be better tools for it. But I'm sure it will be able to if it doesn't already. Again, Elon Musk told us that by the end of the year, Grok will be the smartest AI on Earth. So I would believe him. Tommy Davis, I know Law was trying to get you to quote Madagascar. Oh, nice. Brian, Income Sharks says utility alts will run. I think alts will run. I totally think alts will run. I think that's a no-brainer. Yeah, alts, Bitcoin miners, all these things are kind of lagging, but they're going to have their opportunity. Can you share your ARKG chart? Just open a position. I think I have it in the Discord, but yeah, I can pull it up real quick. I can give you guys a little more time. I started late anyway. So this is my ARKG chart. And again, guys, it's just like, look at this. So resistance turned into support, turned into support, turned into support. Now getting ready to break higher out of what I would consider to be a bull flag, right? Or like a bullish wedge, right? You could say it's a bullish wedge. Let's just call it that. Let's just put it here. Let's call it a bullish wedge. It's not quite a channel because it's thinner, right? It narrows out the further out you get. So it's a bullish wedge. And the breakout from this measured move is at least, like in the 40s. So in my price target, I don't know, I think I'm in the 50s for my options. What am I at? And this is up 6.21%. So the options are up 16% today, which is nice. It's a nice change of pace. I've been sucking at these. I was really shit at them in 2025. The 2025s are going to be dust. I lost $126,000 in them. Wah. And then, but who knows? These could actually, they probably won't come back. They're dust. They're dust. But this over here, though, this could come back with a vengeance. Again, these could be 10x. And so I could make just shit tons of money off of ARKG 2026s that make up for all my losses in 2025. So, Yair Panina Spolter, Jesse, do you have videos teaching technical analysis? I don't have a lot of good ones. I learned from a bunch of people. I learned from a guy named Mitch Ray. I learned from a guy named Crypto Kirby, both very interesting characters, and just a slew of other technicians where I took bits and pieces of what they taught. I focus on the school of thought of like visible range volume profile, which is this little thing over here that shows you where the price action was for different volume candles that you see below. I focus on RSI divergences and convergences, MACD. I focus on Fibonacci in regard to extensions and retracements. And then I also focus on technical patterns. And you can automate some of this. I don't know how to do it yet with TradingView. I need to probably look that up. But like you could see where I said there was an inverse head and shoulder on Palantir a long time ago. And this is how I made $600,000 in a really short period of time on Palantir. Got my name in that community. Then I kind of abandoned them. And some of them hate me now. But the good ones still like me. But you can see, again, we got a daily gap here. 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 I don't know if we have more daily gaps that are higher than that. It looks like we do. So the chance, you got to remember, guys, with gaps, the rule for gaps is that only 10% of the time did they not fill. And I'm telling you guys, this gap right here, this gap will fill. That gap will fill. And it's going to be a painful one for the people that are rushing into Palantir right now because they got a gap here, gap here, gap here, gap here, and a gap here. And at least this one will fill at 41 in the future. And I think at least you get 2 of these, probably 3. You probably leave these 2 over here, but then you fill all the way down to 23 in the future or something like that. Now, again, maybe this is during a major economic event. Or maybe those never fill, and we just get this one over here off of a little bit of a drop. But I think the chance of back testing this previous resistance line and then turning it into support before going higher, I think there's a decent chance of that. And I don't think that's what a lot of Palantir people are thinking. Here's the thing. Just don't have all your money in one thing, guys. Don't do that. It's just not smart. You want diversification. CleanSpark today up 4.17%. It says the options are still down 1%. So I'm sitting about $650,000 on CleanSpark. So it's a decent amount. DLO still looking good, up on the day. Hood up on the day. Mara over 10.5% now, guys. MSTU and MSTX still sucking along with MicroStrategy. Could be a down day for it. Totally cool with letting miners fly while this sits down. But I think this whole thing is going higher this week, guys. Maybe even today. My option of CleanSpark is down. Yeah. If you got the same thing, it's going to do the same thing. So, but again, ARKG up 21% today. So you're getting a 4x multiplier almost on ARKG today versus the underlying asset. And that multiplier in some days could be 10x, guys. So you could see like a 5% move on ARKG and get a 50% move on the options play in the future. So it's awesome. Can you take a look at Open? I'm probably not going to look at any other stocks, but I will look at doing more of that later. Chris John said, when do you think SpaceX and Anduril will be public? SpaceX will never be public. Anduril? I don't know. I don't know if that'll ever be public. Probably not. I don't think either one of these people, they made it very clear, Elon Musk, that SpaceX is not a business venture that people should invest in with the goal of making a bunch of money. Because that's not the point. The point is getting to Mars. It's not to be a super profitable company that people make a bunch of money off of. It's philanthropic work. It's changing the future. So I just make sure you understand that. Make sure you understand it. CleanSpark looking to break out too. I think it is, and I think when that happens, you're going to see these calls just rip. Because CleanSpark's getting close to 5% on the day. These calls are sitting kind of in wasteland territory. They could be higher. If I move this over and actually try and trade. So a trade might not have closed. I'm going to look over here real quick. Also, I'm curious. What's the MicroStrategy tracker looking like today, guys? Would you ever try to buy SpaceX on the private? No. It's not to make money. If I buy SpaceX on the private, here's the only reason I would do it. To help us get to Mars. Okay? That's it. The multiplier now, guys. Oh, this is looking good. So the multiplier now, guys, on MicroStrategy is 2.59 for the NAV. So the NAV got hella cheap. This thing can go up to 3x, 3.5x. I think it can even go to 4x. So the whip around that people are going to see in a little bit on this nav is going to rip their faces off like crazily. They don't realize it, but it's coming. It's really, really, really coming. So this is going to be exciting. What else was I looking at? I was going to look at something else. What was I going to look at? I was looking at, I don't know if I had a point. Solana's getting ready to take off. CleanSpark. Oh, yeah. I was going to see if I could trade CleanSpark and see what it's actually trading at. So the last price it says was 435, but the ask is 460. So CleanSpark is technically up today. It's just nobody's buying the options yet, and so it hasn't updated. It can take a while sometimes for it to update. But yeah, basically the option activity is low, but the ask is 460, and people aren't dropping it lower. So once CleanSpark goes up enough, you'll probably see people trying to pull into it. And you'll see all of a sudden that it's up like 10% on the day or some stupid number. All right, guys, I think I'm done for the day. Again, it's like a $100,000 day so far. It's not my $1 million day that I was looking for, but I think we're going to get there pretty quick. Kyle Wright says, when you buy a home, are you going to get a regular mortgage or get a line of credit by borrowing against your portfolio? I'll probably get a regular mortgage, and then I'll get a regular mortgage. I'll probably look to get some extra with it. It's going to be a balloon because I'm looking to spend, up to $2.4 million on it. So, but yeah, so I'll try and get the lowest interest rate I can get, but I'll want a loan. I wish I could get 50 years terms on the loan. If I could get a 50-year, I would do it. But I can probably only get 30 in the United States. Bummer. But if I could get a 50, I would do it because I'd much rather have lower payments and then be able to use the money to invest because I can do a lot better. Luke, whoa, what is that? You tipping me $50 or something? What's going on here, bro? Whoa, there's a bunch of you guys tipping stuff. I missed a bunch of these because of my stupid session. It's all weird. So, Dave, I just saw that you did one too. If anybody else is doing them, I haven't seen them. I'm sorry. I can look at Archer for a second. I don't love Archer, though, at all. I just got to say. Luke Automata said, though, thank you, Jesse, for your daily insights. You truly made a difference in my life. That's why I'm here, dude. You don't have to give me $50, but I really love hearing that, and I'm happy for you. I hope you continue to prosper. I want I want as many people as I can to prosper off of things that make the world a better place. Let's see here. Disease Kodak. Yeah, Kyle, I'm curious too. If I have $0 in cash and $500,000 in my portfolio, is there a way I can get a loan or whatever to make? I doubt it. It depends on what your portfolio is, but I doubt it. The best way to get a loan is probably with like equity and Bitcoin or something. Like you could maybe do a Bitcoin type loan where there's something like that. But I don't think. I know what you're saying, right? Because you don't want to sell your Bitcoin. You don't want to incur capital gains taxes. Maybe in the not too distant future, I did again show something about how there was a bank that took basically did a mortgage using Bitcoin as some of the collateral to where this person was able to get a bunch of money back and refinance in a way on their mortgage, but they were able to use Bitcoin as a form of collateral on it. And it just got them a much better deal. And I would love to see more of that in the future. I would really love to see a lot more. Theo, Jesse, remember when being up 100K was just like 1 million today. That was long ago. Yeah, dude. I remember that. Mela, sorry. It was a nice day. Have a good day, everyone. I'm going out. All right, peace. SCG or J, I need a t-shirt with your merchandise that says Jesse is my hero. Thanks, bro, for helping out my portfolio. I'll do something like that. We'll try and do something. Broke mentality, DeFi might be an option. Jesse, yeah, maybe. I don't trust DeFi, though. Jesse, Archer ran. I'm up 300% on leaps. The play on it was covered calls this morning. Okay, cool. I just don't like the company. I don't like the company because Archer's like all about flying cars, and I don't like that company. I didn't like it before because I've made I think this is the same one, right? Oh, maybe it's not. Or what is it? What's the ticker? Why am I not finding it in here? Is it Archer? Is that what it is? Let me try and spell it out. Is it ACHR? Yeah, okay. All right, I was spelling it wrong. Archer Aviation, right? So here's what I don't like about Archer, guys. There's no fucking money. There's no money. Nobody's making money. and they're burning 115 million in the last quarter. Their operating free cash flow is negative 116. They're diluting the shit out of their shareholders. I don't know what you guys are invested in, but it's not a business. And I hope the stock goes up for you. I'm happy for people making money off of this, but you're literally just giving your money away, and it's going to eventually top out. But all these people that gave their money, let's go back 5 years. So, I mean, you got to hire high than August of 2023, and we're in a speculative market. Maybe you go all the way up to $10. Maybe it goes even higher, but what the fuck are you invested in? There's no money. They're not making any money. They're diluting shareholders massively. They went from 334 million shares outstanding to 397 million. This is like the Bitcoin miners without the benefit of them buying mining equipment or buying miners or buying Bitcoin, right? Like, I just don't know why people are getting excited about this. You're basically giving your money away so these guys can figure out if they can make a flying car. And here's the worst part. Elon Musk hinted about a flying car in the future. And you know what a flying car has to have to be able to be made and to be able to be produced in mass? Autonomy. Because flying is really fucking hard, and you don't want people flying above your house. The only way this works is with autonomy. And who do you think's going to lead in that for flying cars? I'm going to say Tesla. So I hate to shit on people's parade. That's my view on Archer. And if you made money off of it, great. But it's just a pure gamble in momentum. I mean, it says enterprise value is 2.8 billion. Its market cap is 3.3. So maybe that limits the downside risk. But again, there's nothing that shows me that there's anything worthwhile here. This says all you need to know about Archer Aviation. Right here. If you like a company that bleeds money, then you got the perfect opportunity to have your shares become worth less and less and less and less. So congratulations. That's my take on Archer, guys. How do you feel about AMD? I mean, it's all right. They got a lot to do to get caught up with NVIDIA. I'm not totally excited about it. I'll try and do, if I can this week, if nothing else over the weekend, I'll try and do something where I go over and do a bunch of ticker symbols for you guys, okay? Palantir run the software for Archer. Yeah, that doesn't mean anything to me. I mean, that's great, but unless it teaches them how to build a flying car profitably, that's better than all their competition, and it teaches them how to be autonomous, then it means nothing to me. Dave, sorry. I don't want to waste your $5 or €5, whatever it is. Tesla didn't make money at the start. Yeah, and it didn't. You're right. But if you think that every company is Tesla, Tesla is a diamond in the rough. A diamond in the rough. It's a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. So Tesla is probably going to be the largest company on Earth. If you think all of a sudden this other company is going to be Tesla, it's not. Underground house is good for flying cars. Yeah, I don't want an underground house, though. I don't want an underground house. But yeah, it's just a really hard problem to solve, guys. That's all I'm trying to say. So when you're investing in Archer, just realize you're investing in speculation. And what did Elon Musk tell us for so many years? Production is hard. These guys aren't even there. They're not even there. They're barely at the starting line. They're showing you some concepts, and they're showing you a mock-up of what they can do. Turning that into a production line is virtually impossible to do profitably. Plus, what happens when the first flying car flies out of the sky and kills somebody? It's like your business is over. So, yeah, I don't know, man. Not my cup of tea. Any thoughts on crypto Ethereum? Hearing that it's being bought by the government. Yeah, I haven't heard that. I think Ethereum can go up because it's underperformed for a while. And there's like Ethereum BTC pair that probably shows that it's found its base and it's getting ready to break out higher. I really don't care about Ethereum outside of that, though. I should look here real quickly for shitcoins. If we go to the market cap size and look. So again, on the day, guys, look at this. This is the day on shitcoin land. Sand is up 41%. Like, look at this. This is stupid. Let's go to the week. There's the week in shitcoin land. Again, XLM. Has anybody talked about Stellar in ages? If you guys are OGs, you know what I'm talking about. Like, what the fuck? DOT is actually up now. Like, just a bunch of old trash. Poor Peanut. He's suffering. He died for our bags, and then he died. Period. But if we look at the month here, guys. Look at this. Look at this. And then look at the year for shitcoin land. It's looking good. This last month is looking bullish. Very, very bullish. I hope you understand that. Anyway, guys, I think I'm done. I think I'm done for the day. Thank you guys all for the tips. Sorry I couldn't like some stuff. I've got this weirdness in my YouTube session. We've had a lot of people drop off here. I think they're getting bored. It's 10:30. It's longer than I thought I was going to do this. I hope you guys have a great day. I think we're going to make a bunch of money. I'd like to at least pull $500,000 out of today. We'll see. Benny says, Jesse, Archer Aviation has $6 billion in their backlog. They're valued at $2 billion. None of that means anything to me. Again, production is like they're literally, it's really easy to get money. It's really easy to get orders. It's really hard to be able to produce the cars at profitability and not dilute the shit out of your shareholders while you're trying to survive. Remember, Tesla struggled for years and years and years and years before they were able to turn into a company that went up, 30x and less than 2. So just don't look at Tesla and think that Archer Aviation is Tesla. That's my take. Okay, Benny? I don't want to shit on your guys' stuff, but I do want to tell you what I think and be realistic. I don't like, you guys, anybody who's been here for a while knows that I don't like companies that just burn money and have no hope in sight. So I can't in a very speculative phase, I can't be like, oh yeah, Archer to the moon. That's a different channel. That's probably somebody else. You guys can find that anywhere. All right, I love you guys. I'm going to bail out. I hope you have a good rest of your day. Jesse, are you serious about an AI bot performing trades for you? I'm not serious about that. No, I've never said anything like that. Hey guys, if you're getting scammed stay away from Telegram and all this other shit. In my comments, there might be people posting things that are hiding from me. I can't do anything about that. I have 3 subscriptions. X, where you click subscribe right here. I've got Discord, which is wap.com/micro to macro. I've got YouTube, which is the YouTube channel. I do not have a Discord. I'm not going to try and scam you and ask for a bunch of fucking money in a DM. I posted about that recently. If there's something that pops up under my comments and they hide from me, I can't get rid of them. So if you guys see them, like, look, sometimes reportable scam or spam, it doesn't look like that is in this case, but sometimes there'll be one in here that's showing like a Discord or some other link, and they want you to befriend them and they want to steal all your money. Please don't let them do that. I have not talked about AI trading at all. I don't know if that's one of these things, but it ain't me. Being replaced by a robot someday. Oh yeah, that would be different. I do think that I could be replaced if I pass away in the future. I think somebody who's smart and savvy could take my YouTube videos and all the commentary in them, and they could produce an LLM and an AI that looks at how it's got literally my thesis on how the world operates from like capitalism, meritocracy, what countries are dangerous right now and why. It's got everything about me in it. So you could probably have an AI where you ask, chat micro to macro. If I pass away in the future, you guys could chat micro to macro and get, the same kind of ideas, probably with a pretty high degree of accuracy. So in the future, could something like that happen where it's able to do the work for me and ask questions as a customer service rep for micro to macro? Sure, that's possible. You just said you don't have a Discord. I didn't say I don't have a Discord. No. Oh, sorry. Yeah, if I said that, I didn't mean it. I don't have a Telegram. I do have a Discord. wap.com/micro to macro. So Discord, X subscription, YouTube subscription. That's it. All right. Love you guys. Hope you have a good rest of your day. Make a lot of money. And I will talk to you later. Peace out. Bye.